Welcome to Toyota Stadium. It is NAIA playoff football action. It is the first round of the NAIA FCS. And right here at Toyota Stadium, it is the 12th-ranked Georgetown College Tigers hosting the 5th-ranked Concordia University Cardinals. I am Jason Griefer, happy to have you here with us. You may be thinking to yourself, if you're just catching up on this, why is the number 12 team hosting the number 5 team in the country coming into the opening round of the playoffs here? And we'll touch on that in just a moment. But first of all, it is a busy day of playoff action. 8 games, as you can see, going on right now. In fact, 3 of them are already underway at this juncture. Fellow Mid-South Conference member Kaiser already leading Arizona Christian 10-0 in that one. There are a couple other games just underway as well, including Reinhardt hosting Marion. Of course, this game here, and then 4 games a little bit later on today, one of those being Lindsey Wilson, set to take on Bethel out of Kansas a little bit later on today. But back to our game here. Concordia is out of Ann Arbor, Michigan, and Michigan has unfortunately been a white-hot spot for COVID cases as of late. In fact, this is the first game Concordia has played in 3 weeks. They have not been on the field since March 27th due to COVID protocols. In fact, just had a number of guys just come out of quarantine a few days ago in order to be able to play here today in this one. So that's why Georgetown is hosting this game here today, despite the fact the Tigers are the lower seed. Georgetown comes into today 6-1 on the season, finished second in the Mid-South Conference Bluegrass Division, of course, behind the division champion Lindsey Wilson, who enters the playoffs as the number 3 seed. Concordia, meanwhile, they are ranked number 5 in the country, 5-0 out of the Mid-States East Conference, and looking at this Concordia Cardinals season, the way things have gone, they have played everything just about as close as you can get, save for their final game of the year in which they routed first-year program Madonna University. Their first 4 games, as a matter of fact, looking at them going in, they won their first 4 games by a combined total of 11 points. So they know how to play close there, and should be a close one here today. We fully expect that in this one here. Both teams relying on their defenses to get things done on the season. Concordia's defense allows just under 15 points per game. That's 11th best in the country. Georgetown, meanwhile, allows 17 points per game. That is 18th best in the country. One of the other things to keep an eye on as well will be the rushing attack for Concordia. They average about 165 yards per game. Georgetown, meanwhile, allows less than 100, so that can be an interesting one there. And, of course, Georgetown has done the bulk of its work offensively through the air on the season. The Tigers average 312 yards per game through the air. That is 5th best in the country. Zach Dampier doing the bulk of that. We expect Dampier to be the starter today for Georgetown. One big change to the Georgetown lineup, though. Jake Johnson will not be in uniform today for the Tigers. Staff chose not to provide a specific reason for his absence, but Jake Johnson will not play, will not dress here today, so more pressure goes on the duo of Aaron Maggard and Darius Barber, and we'll see if also Noah Kramer and Tamir Jones can get themselves going in the offense here in this one. This is the first ever meeting between these two schools. Concordia in their 4th overall appearance in the tournament. Their last being a couple of years ago in 2019. They were beaten immediately in the first round by Reinhardt. Georgetown, meanwhile, it's the first appearance for the Tigers in the playoffs since 2017. The Tigers made it to the second round that year. In 2017, they were beaten by Reinhardt in that one. A very tight game. Reinhardt won that one 17-10. Of course, Georgetown, 3 national championships to its credit throughout its history, 1991, 2000, and 2001. Concordia, meanwhile, just 1-3 all-time in championship appearances. That one win came in 2018, and they were bounced in the second round that year. Should be a good one here today. Coming up here in just a little bit on Stretch. Both teams' champions of character will be introduced, and we'll also be able to bring you the starters for each lineup here. But should be a good one here. Also good to see some fans of Concordia University have made the trek down Interstate 75 from the Ann Arbor, Michigan area to come here and support their Cardinals. Should be a good one here in this one. Again, defense likely to be the story in this one. Who can make the fewest mistakes offensively? That could be a major factor as well. One of the other things to keep an eye on in this game as well is the offensive line play for both teams. They've both been very good as of late. Concordia, in 5 games on the season, has only allowed 5 sacks and allows them to really jump out early on opponents and get leads early on. Most notably, they led Madonna 35-0 at the end of the first quarter of that matchup. They also led St. Francis 21-0 in the first half of that game before hanging on for a 24-21 win there. So only 5 sacks allowed. Concordia also very good in the red zone. 17 out of 20 red zone opportunities. They've been able to put points on the board. 12 of those wound up for touchdowns. For Georgetown, we talked early in the season about the struggles of the offensive line, particularly in the first 4 games of the year, in which the Tigers allowed 18 sacks in those first 4 games, but they have really turned it around as of late. The final 3 weeks of the regular season, the Georgetown offensive line allowed just 4 sacks in those 3 games. So a marked improvement there, and they'll need a strong performance today against a talented Concordia defense. And with that, we'll take our first break here on the countdown to kickoff as it is NAIA playoff action. Georgetown hosts Concordia. Still more to come here on Stretch.
I wanted to make sure I went to a college that could help me grow in my faith. Georgetown just encourages me.
I've just learned to accept that we have different beliefs and we may believe different things within Christianity, but we all come together.
When I came here and got to know the staff and faculty, I just felt like it was very personal.
Ever since I've been here, I have grown closer to God. It has allowed me to grow further in my faith.
When I was looking at Georgetown College, I found that they had a Christian Scholars Program that kind of focused on vocation and a person's calling.
2 things that have made it incredibly important about its history is its commitment to academics and its commitment to be faith-filled and help nurture this Christian identity.
The way they see their role in the world is greatly transformed from being a Christian to doing something as Christ would do for the world around them.
It's not about classes just being harder. It's always about depth in a subject matter.
We take all the excellent work that you've already done as a student wherever you are, and then we supercharge it. We send you off to Oxford University where you work one-on-one with an Oxford professor. You come back with an entire worldview.
What Georgetown College does exceptionally well is it gives students the opportunity to have an extraordinary research experience either here or any place else in the country.
Last summer I got to participate in research at Marshall University, and it was a super cool experience.
This is like the main research I've done in college, and this is pretty much what's going to get me to grad school.
One of my favorite things about the honors program is that it really does feel like a family. You just have these bonds with each other that are unbreakable.
Part of that care for you, however, is to try to urge you towards the highest skills and virtues that you've got to offer.
Welcome back here on the Tiger Sports Network. Countdown to kickoff. Georgetown and Concordia in the opening round of NAIA football playoff action. Told you before the break, Kaiser University out of the Mid-South Conference Sun Division in playoff action already today against the Firestorm of Arizona Christian, and Kaiser is not playing around with the Firestorm. 2 minutes to go in the first quarter, and Kaiser leads Arizona Christian 32-0. They have outgained, Arizona Christian thus far in yards, 173-10. It has been total dominance thus far for the Seahawks, but we'll be keeping an eye on that as things go along here today. Told you before the break as well that Georgetown's top wide receiver, Jake Johnson, will not be in uniform today for the Tigers. Concordia, conversely, will also be without their top receiver, Parker Graham, who came into today leading the team in catches, yards, and also touchdowns in this abbreviated season. He will not be in uniform today either, so Ahmad Clay will step into the starting lineup. And we'll go over all the starting lineups for the Concordia offense and the Georgetown defense a little bit later on. They will be introduced here on the field to start things off. So let's flip it around to the other side right now. Let's start talking about, first of all, the Georgetown College offense. We'll likely see Zach Dampier get the start here once again. He's been very, very good as of late. He was named second team All-Mid-South when the awards were announced this past week. 1,314 yards, 10 touchdowns, and only 3 interceptions. He's a big reason why Georgetown's in the top 5 in passing yards per game in the country. Just under 313. Hunter Kraus did some of that heavy lifting earlier in the season, but Dampier has taken over at that point. Of course, a lot of the offense will likely be calling the name of Darius Barber here today. He leads the Tigers in catches and yards on the season, 48 for 575. He also has 4 touchdowns through the air and also 1 on the ground. Those 4 touchdowns, second to Jake Johnson, who leads the team with 5. Aaron Maggard, 28 catches on the season. We'll see if Noah Kramer can get going. He's been quiet the last few weeks for the Tigers. They'll need a big day out of him on the outside. And, of course, Isaiah Cobb will likely get the bulk of the carries in the backfield. We'll see a whole host of Tigers toting the rock, but Cobb leads the way for the Tigers in rushing, 253 yards on the season. Georgetown still struggles to run the football, as the Tigers average just 70 yards per game and just 2.1 yards per carry. Of course, you always have to factor sacks into that as well, and so the amount of sacks the Tigers' offensive line gave up early in the season also plays a factor in that as well. Over on the other side for Concordia, let's take a look at their defense just a bit here. They come into today allowing just under 15 points per game. As you said, 14.6. That's 11th best in the country. Allow just under 265 yards per game. That is 9th best in the country. And only 87 yards per game on the ground. That's 11th best in the country. Again, that may not necessarily play as big of a factor here today, as Georgetown likes to get the offense going through the air. Concordia does have 6 interceptions and also 15 sacks on the year, so it will be a challenge for the Georgetown offensive line, even though they have been improving their play in recent weeks there. Penalties could also be a factor in this one today, and through 5 games, Concordia penalized 34 times on the season for just over 330 yards. Georgetown, meanwhile, in 7 games, just 39 penalties, so the Tigers doing much better in that area than Concordia, with a couple of added games to boot there. Both teams very good defensively, particularly on third down. Concordia allows just 29% conversions on third down, Georgetown 28%. So that can be another factor in this game. Who can sustain drives, who can keep things alive here. And if the teams do get stalled, both teams have 2 very good kickers to try and put points on the board. Luis Gomez will likely be holding the kicking duties today for Concordia. The freshman is 4-5 on the year with a long of 36. Took over after the second game of the year from Wyatt Mast, and has made some big kicks over the last 3 weeks that Concordia played. He also has not missed an extra point. For Georgetown, it's Chris Klein. The left-footed kicker is second team All-Mid-South on the year, 9 of 11 on field goals with a long of 42. He has not missed an extra point on the year. So a lot of different avenues to try to dissect this thing, but the bottom line is these 2 teams, at least on paper anyway, very, very evenly matched. Georgetown has a little bit of an advantage as far as offensive output, but Concordia has a very, very good defense. And you look at the way the Concordia schedule set out. They won their season opener at Siena Heights by a final of 10-7, beat number 2 Marion on March 6, 16-14, thanks in large part to Marion's kicker missing 3 field goals inside of 30 yards in that game. Concordia in that game was outgained 406 to 203 and really, really struggled in that one there. St. Francis, so 24-21 win there after leading 21-0. St. Francis came all the way back, and Luis Gomez kicked a game-winning field goal late in that one. Concordia had to go to overtime to beat Taylor 17-14 back on March 20th. Quarterback Peter Morrison for Concordia, just 7 of 22 for 107 and 2 picks in that game. The defense for Concordia, the factor in that one, 3 picks. They also held Taylor to 4 of 16 on third down. And then the regular season finale, what wound up being the regular season finale, I should say, for Concordia, they easily trounced Madonna 61-17. Madonna in its first year as a football program. Concordia led that game 35-0 after the first quarter, 45-0 at halftime. Peter Morrison, who the projected starter at quarterback today, did not play in that game, and it was by far and away Concordia's best offensive output. The Cardinals put up 478 yards in offense in that game. In none of the first 4 games of the year did they put up more than 280 yards per game. So the numbers offensively a little bit inflated by that last one, but nevertheless, they're going to rely on their defense to try and keep this Georgetown offense off the boards here. And the Georgetown offense, it's found its legs over the last couple of weeks, especially on the road, beating Thomas More 24-14 in the regular season finale. A nice road win, beating UPike 38-23. And game Georgetown pulled away later in the half, so that in the second half. That score not really indicative of how well Georgetown played in that one. Sometimes you will have that. Come up here in just a moment. We should have the official introductions of the Concordia offense and also the Georgetown defense. And at that time, we will also announce the champions of character for each team once the 2 teams do emerge from their locker rooms. Nice day out here today at Toyota Stadium. Temperature right around 60 degrees. Some sun is out right now. There are some thicker clouds around the stadium. There is a chance some rain falls. There's been a little bit of light rain in the area off and on all day today. We could see some showers fall here on the field at Toyota Stadium as things progress here today. But temperature-wise, pretty nice for mid-April. And as of right now, a little bit of wind to speak of, really working from left to right and really, in fact, blowing towards the Concordia bench across the way there. So we'll see if that plays a factor for either one of these 2 very, very good kickers in Chris Klein and Luis Gomez. Georgetown on the verge there. As you see, they're standing down by the rock. And you can also see right in there in the middle of that huddle right there. Kind of hard to spin out now because he's one without a helmet. Jake Johnson in the middle of that group in there for the Tigers. But, again, he is not in the starting lineup. Let's get to the starting lineups here. First, we'll do the Concordia offense. It is Peter Morrison at quarterback, the 5'10 senior out of Fort Wayne, Indiana, 441 yards, 5 touchdowns, 2 picks on the year. Kevontae Brown will get the lion's share of carries at tailback, 291 yards on the season. Ahmad Clay will start at wide receiver, replacing Parker Graham, who was out today. Donovan Johnson also starting at wide receiver, as is Jed Palka. 3-wide set for the Cardinals. They also like to use their tight ends. Luke Wilson will get the start here today at tight end. We'll also see Noah Smith. And on the offensive line, left to right, Gabe Dowling, Nathan Rohr, Caleb Muxlow, Trey Freeman, and James Williams. And also the champion of character for Concordia is defensive back Mark Wilson, and we'll call his name quite a bit. He will be starting at cornerback here today. Georgetown's champion of character, it is Ben Jackson. Of course, he's moved on from his playing days. He's now a part of the coaching staff. And for the Georgetown starting defense in the secondary, their traditional starting lineup, Bryce Bowen, Rob Sheffield, Kyron Simpson, and Zion Bethel. Rob Sheffield named first team All-Mid-South Conference. The linebacking core of Colin Smith, Peyton Standifer, Chad Holleran, who's second team All-Conference, and DJ White, the outside linebacker who was named the Mid-South Conference Bluegrass Defensive Player of the Year and first team All-Mid-South. On the defensive line, Sander Roxvag, second team All-Mid-South. Raphael Roan will man the middle of that defensive front. And also Marcus Omashule, the defensive end. He was named first team All-Mid-South. So good matchups there across the board for both teams, as a matter of fact, and good size across the board for this Concordia offensive line. Gabe Dowling at left tackle, the lightest of the 5 up front. He goes 275. Everybody else between 280 and 295. And Gowling, a freshman, so he'll get tested out there against the likes of DJ White and Colin Smith, and we might also see Chad Holleran come through the middle as well. He's done that a lot, and Holleran has been a heck of a player for Georgetown all the year. Leads the team in tackles with 55. He's among the team leaders in tackles for loss, and also has 4.5 sacks from the inside linebacker spot, which you don't see very often. So he has had a heck of a season for the Tigers at this juncture. Still about 9 minutes away from the proceedings to begin here at Toyota Stadium. And some clouds just continue to hover in the area. And out behind the Concordia fan base there, some darker clouds out along the way. And nothing severe expected at all in the area, but some light rain is certainly possible throughout the day here. And we'll see particularly if that affects Georgetown and their ability to throw the football should the rain come. We'll have to wait and see when that comes to pass. And with that, we will step aside one more time here, and still a little bit of time left here to go. As we said, about just under 9 minutes remaining until the kickoff of this NAIA football playoff opener, Georgetown versus Concordia. More to come here on the Tiger Sports Network. While you're getting a look at the two teams about ready to take the field here, and we have the national anthem coming up here in just a moment as well. Make sure you're following Georgetown College on all the social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. A lot of great content always provided by our staff here at Georgetown. They do a great job. Make sure for all those you're giving a like and a follow and a subscribe on the YouTube. You can always catch broadcast streamed normally on Stretch. They also archive those on YouTube. And with that, pause for a moment once again for our nation's colors. Good crowd here at Toyota Stadium for this one. Of course, everybody here having to keep the masks on and also groupings to remain socially distant. But nevertheless, good number of Georgetown fans here and also Concordia fans who were all able to purchase tickets online in advance at GeorgetownCollegeAthletics.com. Make sure you're also tuned into GeorgetownCollegeAthletics.com to keep an eye on all things Tiger athletics throughout the remainder of the spring season. As Concordia takes field across the opposite side, you see the Georgetown Tigers going all black here today in this playoff opener. And they are just about set to go. There you see it there, number 9. That is Jake Johnson. Again, he is not playing today for the Tigers, and neither is Concordia's leading receiver in Parker Graham. So some challenges to be met there especially for Georgetown that likes to get the offense going through the air. We'll wait and see how that affects things, if it affects things, as we go along here today. And as we go along, we will try and get you updates from other games going on in this playoff action here. In fact, one update also already in. Marion has put a safety on the board early in the first quarter against Reinhardt. So right now in that one, Marion leads Reinhardt 2-0. And again, as we go on, we'll try and get you updates from those other playoff games as best we can. There isn't really any kind of bracketing system set up for the NAIA. The NAIA waits until the first round results are in, if there are any upsets, and then they reseed based on that for the second round, which will take place a week from now. Interesting that some of the teams also in the playoffs elected to play their season in the fall, so some of those teams have not played in several months' time here, as we have guys going to the midfield for the coin toss. It'll be Jake Johnson for Georgetown. He will be out there to take that one. And also Alex Hinojosa. Alex Hinojosa will be starting at defensive end today here for Concordia. He will call it, as Concordia is the road team here today.
It is ahead. Concordia, what would you like to choose?
Concordia has won the toss here, and Concordia will defer to the second half. So it'll be the Georgetown defense on the field to begin with. Concordia, as to see the captain switch, the Concordia will be working from right to left here. And now that the coin toss has happened, both sidelines getting extra amped up as the playoffs are about to begin. Now it is win and move on, lose and you're done for the season. We are shaping up for what should be a very hotly contested battle here. And again, the way these two teams have played all year long, points will likely be at a premium here in this one. Georgetown put out a season high in points in the regular season finale against UPike with 38. And Concordia did the same in their eventual regular season finale against Madonna with 61. But in the first four games, Concordia did not break more than 24 points in any of those. Georgetown had to win a couple of games this year, scoring less than 20, beating Cumberland 19-7 back on February 26th, and also beating Bethel right here at Toyota Stadium a few weeks back by a final of 17-14. And what we thought was going to be the home finale of this season. Concordia bench, their fans across the way, clearly here there from where we are up in the press box. They are fired up and ready to go, and why shouldn't they be? They have had a very difficult road to get here to the playoffs here. 3 games in a row, the wins over Marion, St. Francis, and Taylor, all wins aided by the other team missing field goals here. So Concordia knows how to win the tight ones. They know what it's like to be in a sweat. They've also had a little bit of lady luck on their side. They are led by fourth-year head coach Josh Schumacher. He's been with the program for 8 years, still maintains co-defensive coordinator duties. He's 32-8 at the helm in his 4th season. And of course, for Georgetown, it's the Hall of Famer Bill Cronin in his 24th season, 209 wins against just 62 losses. Of course, he won a couple of national championships back in 2000 and 2001 as a head coach. He was also here as an assistant coach for Kevin Donnelly on the 1991 championship team. Wyatt Mast will kick things off here. And for Georgetown, back deep, Isaiah Cobb and Bryson Cobb set to tee it up here, as we're happy to say it once again at Toyota Stadium, the playoffs are underway. Isaiah Cobb will field it at the 5-yard line, coming near side, trying to slip through one, gets across the 20. He's brought down at the 22-yard line by Alex Urito, the redshirt freshman. And now Georgetown's offense comes on to the field. Michael Caba, the offensive coordinator, is in his 6th year. It'll be Zach Dampier, the signal caller. 57% completion percentage, 1,314 yards, 10 touchdowns, and 3 picks on the season. And Will Thomas will get the start at receiver on the near side, replacing Jake Johnson, who was out today. Isaiah Cobb in the backfield on 1st and 10. Delayed draw. Here is Cobb. Space up the middle. Isaiah Cobb lowers his shoulder, and he gets out just across the 30-yard line. Good start there for the Tigers. A pickup of 7 on 1st down. Concordia will run a 4-3 defense. Andrew Forrester, Alex Hinojosa, the defensive ends. Colin Vaughn, Corbin Stefanski in the middle of the defensive line. The linebacking core of Hunter Maynard, freshman Casey Roush, who is out of Alexandria, Kentucky, Campbell County High School, and Aaron Ron. Your corners, Mark Wilson, Gerald McHenry. Safeties, Ryan Fish and Connor Long. It is 2nd and we'll call it a long 2 from the 31-yard line. On the sweep, here is Darius Barber. Nothing going there as he is brought down in the backfield by Colin Vaughn. His 16th tackle of the season, a loss of 2, back to the 29-yard line. And it's interesting early on, without Jake Johnson, Georgetown trying to get the running game established. TJ Wetstein will come in now, and actually now he'll sub out. So Georgetown will now spread things out here likely as Noah Kramer comes back in on a 3rd and 4 opportunity. Georgetown on offense, 33% on 3rd down on the season. Concordia allows just 29%. Dampier will go from the gun for the first time, looking left the entire way, and he has Darius Barber. And Darius Barber has a 1st down out across the 40-yard line. Barber's 49th catch of the season, and Georgetown with a good start here to move the chains on 3rd down. Ryan Fish, the safety, came down to make the stop on the play, but not before a pickup of 13 yards on Dampier's first throw of the day. Dampier will go from the gun again, now looking to the near side. He wants Will Thomas out there. Will Thomas couldn't get it down as that ball just fluttered up into the air, and Thomas had to put on the brakes to try and come back for that one. Tough angle to try and pull that one in. He was being defended by Darius Arrington, who's out on the near side at corner right now. He'll swap in and out with Gerald McHenry as we go along here today. So not a bad idea taking a shot here early on. I think also Concordia seeing that Jake Johnson is not in uniform today. Georgetown trying to work against that and figuring the Tigers may go a little more conservative, but Dampier's first shot down the field, a little off the mark. 13:04 to go in the first quarter. Isaiah Cobb back in the backfield on 2nd and 10. He will get the carry, trying to bounce it out wide. There are 5 black helmets waiting, and Cobb slipped as he was trying to cut upfield anyway and went down right at the line of scrimmage. So it'll be 3rd and 10 for the Tigers now as they need to break in to Concordia territory and get a couple of more to keep the drive going. A lot of noise coming from the Concordia bench, and their fan base also will follow suit at times as things go along here today to try and make things as disruptive as possible here. It's nice to have visiting fans here. We've not been able to have that this season at Toyota Stadium, but they're here and in force today. 3rd down. Aaron Maggard goes in motion to the top side. Dampier with pressure. And Dampier going down in the backfield. He is brought down by Aaron Ron, his first sack of the season, but that play was made by Alex Hinojosa, who came firing off the right side of the line, forced Dampier to bail out earlier than he wanted, and Ron came in to finish it off, and Georgetown will send on the punting unit. Josh Edwards will boot it away. He was named first team All-Mid-South, averages nearly 39 yards per punt on the season. Looks like Ryan Fish will await the return. He averages nearly 13 yards per game. And Edwards with an absolute shank. We'll see where they mark the ball off, but that is a really, really bad miss there for Edwards. A 12-yard punt on his first of the day. And Concordia will start at the Georgetown 47-yard line on its first possession with 11:41 to go in the opening quarter. Peter Morrison will be the signal caller, 5'10", 185 senior out of Fort Wayne, Indiana. 48% completion percentage, 441 yards, 5 touchdowns, and 2 picks. Kevontae Brown will be in the backfield on this first down play, nearly 300 yards in the 5 games Concordia has played. Get you the Georgetown starters after this play. Morrison wants a shot down the field. He has Donovan Johnson out there. Donovan Johnson has a touchdown on the first play from scrimmage as Johnson beat the Georgetown defender Zion Bethel to the post, and Morrison hit him right in stride. And Donovan Johnson has the longest play of the season for Concordia on their first play of the game today, a 48-yard touchdown strike to get on the board. What a start for the Cardinals. Luis Gomez on for the extra point. Line drive is up, and it is good. Concordia's defense gets things going. Josh Edwards with an absolutely awful punt. And Concordia gets aggressive on the first play from scrimmage as Peter Morrison hits Donovan Johnson from 48 yards out. It's the longest play of the season for the Cardinals. They lead Georgetown with 11:33 in the go in the first quarter, 7-0 on stretch. It'll officially be deemed a 47-yard touchdown from Peter Morrison to Donovan Johnson. The previous long play on the season was 45 yards. That happened in their final game of the season against Madonna. But Concordia with as good of a start as they could hope for here in the opener. Wyatt Mass kicks that to the near side, and Cobb will have to field it right at the goal line. Isaiah Cobb not really anywhere to go as he is hammered just shy of the 15-yard line. Concordia with that extra pep in their step right now, as you may imagine, after this start. Big thing right now, and Bill Cronin knows this, having been a head coach for 24 years, there is still a lot of football left to be played in this game. So no reason to panic, no reason to get down right now, but the Tigers have some work to do now. Nick Conley in the backfield for Georgetown. First time we've seen him here on stretch in a long, long time. Here is Conley on the delayed draw, trying to evade his own lineman there, Sam Dingle, and he gets out across the 20. And it'll be a gain of about 5.5, call it 6 on first down. Conley, a major contributor last year for Georgetown. In fact, was the Tigers' leading returning rusher coming into to the season this year, but has been in and out of the lineup all year long. He does pick up 6 on first down here, make it 2nd and 4 from the 21-yard line. Play fake here, and Dampier throws it back in the middle, and Darius Barber drops it. Turned his head before he secured the catch as Dampier put a pretty good ball in there, and Barber with a rare drop would have easily been a first down and then some. Instead, it'll be a 3rd down and 4 for the Tigers. You don't see that happen very often. Darius Barber, as sure of hands as anybody on this Georgetown roster, just took his eye off that one and let it drop. Will Thomas, Tamir Jones, the receivers now. Aaron Maggard in the slot to the top side as Isaiah Cobb shifts in the backfield. 3rd down and 4. Dampier out wide. There is Barber making up for the drop. He'll have a first down here out across the 25 to the 27-yard line. That now Barber's 50th catch of the season in 7+ games. By far and away the Georgetown leader. Jake Johnson was next on the team with just 31 catches. But it is a first down here for the Tigers as they do convert on that 3rd down situation. So Georgetown now 2 of 3 on 3rd down to start. Here's Aaron Maggard out wide, trying to get a block from a teammate there, Darius Barber, and he'll get out across the 30, just shy of the 32-yard line. So about 4.5 on that play. Just about 5 minutes gone by here in the first quarter of this playoff opener. And Concordia leads Georgetown 7-0 off of a Peter Morrison 47-yard touchdown pass to Donovan Johnson. 2 deep safeties as Aaron Maggard comes in motion. Dampier throws it out to the wide side. Aaron Maggard's out there. Brought it in but could not keep a foot in bounds as Mark Wilson just guided Maggard right out of bounds on the play. Good idea and good effort by Maggard, but Mark Wilson in perfect position to send Maggard out of bounds before he could get the foot down on the play. So it winds up 3rd and 6. And you're seeing, again, Georgetown willing to take shots down the field early in this one, even without Jake Johnson. It'll be Will Thomas and Tamir Jones now at receiver as Dampier will go under center on this 3rd down and 5 opportunity. Dampier pressured, and that ball is down. Is that intercepted? No. Connor Long came up to try and pull that one in. The head linesman says no, it was a trap. But Dampier again being pressured as Max Hill is struggling early on at that right tackle spot. And Georgetown again will have to send on the punting unit, and they'll hope to get something more than a 12-yard effort from Josh Edwards. Looks like the clock kept running a little bit, so we'll have to reset that here. Or just a moment before Edwards can punt it away. Ryan Fish will be back to receive. So the clock shows 9:13. They'll have to reset that to 9:28. And there we go. So Josh Edwards will look to atone from his first punt. He has shown throughout his Georgetown career he is a very, very capable punter as Concordia again shows pressure up on the line. Not much pressure, though, coming in, and Edwards much, much better this time. And Fish will let it go, and that's going to bounce towards the Concordia sideline and will finally come to a rest at the 22-yard line. Much better effort that time from Josh Edwards. A 46-yard punt that time for the all-conference performer. And now Concordia goes back to work for its second possession. 9:16 to go in the first quarter. Concordia leads Georgetown 7-0. Reinhardt has scored a touchdown against Marion to lead that one 7-2 early in the second quarter. Get you some other updates as those come in. Morrison will go from the gun this time. Pressure coming from Roxvag, trying to get out of it. Morrison over the middle and incomplete, looking for Ahmad Clay over the middle. As that one falls incomplete, we do have a flag on the far side of the field. Looks like it came in from the linesman on the far side here. Generally, that indicates some kind of illegal motion or illegal formation. We'll wait and see what the official call is. Concordia backing way up. In fact, it'll be a hold against Concordia. Interesting that flag coming in from the far linesman. Not sure if it was outside on a wide receiver or what have you, but nevertheless, Georgetown will go ahead and take that penalty and back Concordia up to its 12-yard line. It'll make it 1st and 20. And penalties have been an issue for Concordia on the season. Averaged nearly 7 penalties per game coming into this one. 7 penalties for 66 yards on the air. Morrison goes under center here on first down as Clay comes in motion. And Brown will get the carry, and not much doing there. I think he got back to the line of scrimmage, but no more. This is a very, very good Georgetown front seven. Roxvag, Roan, and Omashule on the defensive line. Smith, Standifer, Holleran, and DJ White, the linebacking core. Of course, DJ White was named the Mid-South Conference Bluegrass Division Defensive Player of the Year. And the defensive secondary, Zion Bethel, Bryce Bowen, Rob Sheffield, and Kyron Simpson. So no gain on the play. Remains 2nd and 20 now from the Concordia 12-yard line. 8:30 to go in the first quarter. White showing pressure up the top side. Here he comes. Morrison to the near side. Here is Ahmad Clay out across the 20 and out across the 25. Clay using that size at 6'1", 200 pounds to move it out to the 26-yard line. So a pickup of 14. It's just the 3rd catch of the season for Ahmad Clay, but a much more manageable situation now for the Cardinals. Turns a 2nd and 20 into a 3rd and 6. Concordia on the season, 31% on 3rd down. Georgetown allows under 28%. Morrison will go from the gun on the left hash. He has Donovan Johnson as the receiver out to the top side. A bunch set to the near side. And now they'll back up 5 yards as the left guard, Nathan Rohr, stood up out of his stance. turns it into a 3rd and 11 situation. Is that Georgetown pressure? That can do that to opposing offensive lines, particularly those who have not seen the different looks that Georgetown will employ under defensive coordinator Shan Housekeeper. He likes to mix things up. He likes to show pressure and may not necessarily always bring it, but he's going to give you an idea that he's coming with pressure and likes to establish it early on. He drew a 5-yard penalty in doing it as Rohr got called for the infraction. Now 3rd and 11. Georgetown in more of a traditional set as Luke Wilson, the tight end, moves to the near side. White on a stunt inside, out wide. Wilson has it right at the sticks. I think it'll be a first down as he brought that in right in front of Zion Bethel. Nice back shoulder throw by Morrison, and Luke Wilson using that size at 6'2", 240 to haul it in for a first down. And Concordia will go with a little hurry up here and hand off to Kevontae Brown. He is hit pretty quickly there on the play by Devon Starks.
The tackle was by number 31, Peyton Standifer.
Peyton Standifer also in on the play. 7:15 to go, and Concordia with a nice job of recovering from that early holding call and then also the false start. From the 34, the Cardinals go, as Nolan Smith will be on the field here, stacked up on the near side behind Clay. So both tight ends on the field for Concordia on this play. 2nd and 8. Morrison down the seam. Wilson is there. He's cut down at midfield as they use the play fake, and Wilson went uncovered down the left side of the line. Zion Bethel cuts him down, and Concordia doing a nice job mixing things up here, and they continue to work in the hurry-up. At the Georgetown 49, here they go again. Morrison on the play fake. Roxvag chasing out to the far side. That is caught by Donovan Johnson, and right now Concordia has Georgetown's defense all out of sorts as they're using this hurry-up. Very atypical from what Concordia has run offensively for a lot of the season, really catching Georgetown off balance right now. Now Brown gets the handoff out wide, and that is going nowhere in a hurry. In fact, it'll be a loss of 1 as he is driven backward on the play by Marcus Amashule and also Chad Holleran in on the stop as well. Colin Smith in the area, so a loss of 1. 6 minutes to go in the first quarter. Sun has gone behind the clouds a little bit, so it has cooled just a bit here, but temperature's still in the upper 50s, pretty darn comfortable right now, and thus far still no rain here at Toyota Stadium. If there is rain to come, it will be light in nature. Shouldn't affect anything on the field. Dorian Edmond now in at tailback as Morrison goes from the gun. Morrison to the near side, high and wide of the target as pressure was coming in from Colin Smith, and it was well wide of the intended target, Ahmad Clay. Makes it 3rd and 11 now for the Cardinals. Of course, they converted that 3rd and 11 earlier in the drive with that sideline completion to Luke Wilson. Edmond stays in the game at tailback. Luke Wilson will also line up in the backfield. Seen already, they like to move Wilson around. Try and find an advantage. 3rd and 11. Georgetown could really use a stop here. They're coming with pressure. Morrison lines it to Wilson, leaking out, and he is cut down at about the 27-yard line. He'll be a yard shy of the line to gain here, and I'd have to think Concordia will keep its offense on the field. Concordia, 50% conversion on 4th down on the season. From here, you'd be looking at about a 45-yard field goal try. That is outside of the range, we believe, of Luis Gomez. Concordia now taking its time here as they get guys spaced out here. The receivers set out, and here they go quick to the line. Edmond in the backfield on 4th and 1. Edmond gets the carry and should have the first down just shy of the 25-yard line.
Initial stop by number 3, DJ White.
Wait for the spot here. I thought he got it off the right side, and he did. First down, Concordia.
First down, Concordia.
4:40 to go in the first quarter. Concordia keeps the chains moving as they start this next sequence from the Georgetown 26-yard line. 3 wide receiver set. Jeb Palka is the slot man to the near side. Morrison with the play fake. Morrison out to the near side. Wants Palka out there. That ball is unable to be brought in by Palka, and Rob Sheffield in perfect coverage on the play as Palka had it for a moment, but when he came down to the ground, he was out of bounds, and also the ball jarred loose anyway. So good coverage there by Sheffield, who leads the Tigers on the year with 4 interceptions, but making the nice play in coverage. Second and 10 now from the 26-yard line. Wilson on that line at the left side here. They're going to give it to Brown up the middle, and Kevontae Brown crosses the 25 to the 24-yard line. Another 3rd and long situation for the Cardinals on this drive. It'll be 3rd and 8. And even at this point, if you're stopped, you're looking at about a 42-yard field goal try from that right hash. This may be a 2-down situation here. We'll see what offensive coordinator Jonathan Coddington draws up here on 3rd and 8. Concordia has had the Georgetown defense out of sorts from the get-go. 4 receiver set. 2 wide receivers on the other side. Luke Wilson in the top side slot. Morrison looking out that way. Wilson has it. Another first down. Simple out route, and Morrison hits Wilson right in stride. And right now, Georgetown has no answers for Luke Wilson. That's his 4th catch of the first quarter. And Concordia at the line, ready to go again. They were ready to go, but the official had to get the spot correct. And now they do at the 12-yard line. Morrison gives it off to Brown, not much doing. Georgetown's run defense has been very good thus far. Concordia, 6 carries, just 5 yards in this first quarter, but they've done the work through the air as Morrison already in the first quarter, 6 of 8 for 112 yards. What's interesting about that, you do the math there, in the 4 games Morrison played on the year, he didn't play in the regular season finale against Madonna. He only averaged 110 yards passing per game. He's already at now 124 after the completion to Wilson in the first quarter. Here he is with 3 receivers to his left. They're going to hand off to Brown once again, and again, nowhere to go as Georgetown stuffs Brown right at the line of scrimmage at the 11-yard line, bringing up another 3rd and long situation for the Cardinals. Now they're solidly in field goal range for Luis Gomez should Georgetown get a stop here, but 3rd down and long defense has been an issue for Georgetown thus far in the ballgame. Concordia already 6 first downs in this first quarter. They want more than that on this play here. They'll take a first down, but they want to go finish this drive out with a touchdown. 3 receivers to the left. Morrison rolling out the entire way. They want the throw back there, and that is brought in for the touchdown. They threw it back to Luke Wilson. White read it initially for Georgetown and then did not go out there with Wilson. And this Concordia offense is doing anything it wants right now against Georgetown as Morrison has his 2nd touchdown of the quarter. Luke Wilson with his 2nd touchdown catch of the season. And Concordia has come into Toyota Stadium and really put a surprising performance out towards these Georgetown fans as Gomez is on for the extra point. It is up, and it is good. 1:51 to go in the first quarter. It remains all Concordia as they again convert on a 3rd and long situation. This time Peter Morrison hits Luke Wilson from 11 yards out. It is Concordia 14, Georgetown nothing on stretch. Wyatt Mast on to kick off for the third time in this first quarter, as Concordia has set the tone from the get-go. Now Georgetown's got to start waking up here. A short kick, and Isaiah Cobb's going to field it at the 15-yard line. He'll get out across the 30 to the 31-yard line, and that's where Georgetown begins this possession.
Tackle was by number 3, Ryan Fish.
Concordia right now outgaining Georgetown 140 to 29. Cardinals averaging 8.2 yards per play, and Luke Wilson has been unguardable thus far offensively for the Cardinals. He has 5 catches for 61 yards and the score here in the first quarter. Georgetown will try and counter here with Dampier under center on this first down play. There's a delayed draw, a bit of a sloppy exchange. Isaiah Cobb out across the 35 to the 38-yard line. Georgetown's having some success early on with this delayed draw, getting us some opportunities. Casey Roush in on the stop, the freshman out of Alexandria, Kentucky. He is a Campbell County Campbell. Starting middle linebacker. He will also punt for the Cardinals, but that punting has not been needed thus far for the Cardinals offense. Dampier now goes with 5 wide receivers on second and we'll call it 3. There's Barber. He is popped and the ball pops out. Arrington came from his corner spot inside as they were trying to use Will Thomas to clear out the near side, and that one jarred loose by Arrington. Third down and 3. Georgetown already 2 for 4 on third down in the game, and still a very quiet Georgetown sideline. Quite the opposite across the way. Concordia has been energetic from the start on the sidelines and in the stands, and their team has given them every reason to continue that as we've gone on. 3rd and 3 now for Georgetown. Dampier on the play fake. Nowhere to go with it, and what a catch on the near side by T.J. Wetstein. Amongst 3 bodies in the area, Wetstein comes off his feet and brings it down. Just his 4th catch of the season, but it's a big one. It puts Georgetown into Concordia territory at the 48-yard line. Critical grab from Wetstein. That is excellent work in traffic and able to get a few extra yards out of it. See if that gets the Georgetown offense going here as we have about 40 seconds to go in the first quarter. Dampier evaluating. Nowhere to go. That's a coverage sack on this play. Georgetown's offensive line going to try and push him forward. They may give him the line of scrimmage, so it wouldn't necessarily count as a sack, but nevertheless, Dampier had nowhere to go down the field on the play. Corbin Stefanski and Colin Vaughn on the play. And now we hear the Concordia bench chanting, "We can't hear you," at the Georgetown sideline. Interesting, you normally hear that from a fan base, not from the guys who are standing on the sidelines. But they still have a lot to cheer about as the first quarter comes to a close. Concordia with about as good of a start as you could ask for here on the road as the higher seed in the playoffs. We are at the end of the first quarter at Toyota Stadium. It is number 5, Concordia leading 12th-ranked Georgetown 14-0 on stretch.
Here's how this will work. You'll watch this commercial, then look up Georgetown College. No, not that one. A Christian college in Kentucky. You'll be impressed with the school and your scholarship. You'll watch GC win yet another national championship with lifelong friends. You'll attend Oxford University. You'll take a class with that professor who blows your mind. You'll find your major and your career. You'll get internships and graduate, and your Georgetown degree will get you that first job or into grad school. You'll remember this as the moment that shaped your life. You're welcome. Think different. Think GC. Apply now at georgetowncollege.edu.
Second quarter about to begin. 2nd and 10 for the Tigers. To the far side, back shoulder throw. Will Thomas has it for the first down. His 11th catch of the season. First today as Arrington was playing off in coverage. And Dampier with a nice throw, and Georgetown moves the sticks. Thomas stepped out at the 34-yard line. Gain of 14 on the play for Will Thomas, a senior out of Middletown, Ohio. Doesn't want his college career to come to an end here today. That's a nice gain. See if it gets him going as things go along, as the rest of this game progresses. Dampier left side, and that was incomplete. Trying to find Barber there in slide, and Ryan Fish had that read the entire way. And that's why you need to start trying to get other guys involved here. You saw the catch from Thomas. Noah Kramer needs to find a way to get himself involved in the offense as well, along with Tamir Jones. Concordia knows that Darius Barber is the number one target for Zach Dampier. You've got to find somebody else to take the pressure off of him. Delayed draw. Here is Conley, and he is cut down. Nice open field tackle by Casey Roush at the 31-yard line.
Tackle was by number 10, Casey Roush.
Good move there by the true freshman. He'll spot it now at the 32. It'll make it 3rd and 8. And I would have to think at this juncture, from this spot in the field, this is 2-down territory for the Tigers. But they don't want to have to worry about that. Kramer will be on the near side, matched up against Mark Wilson as Maggard comes in motion. Dampier out to the right side, wants that back shoulder throw. It is broken up by Gerald McHenry as Thomas tried to bring that in. McHenry just stuck an arm out and swatted it away. It'll make it 4th down and 8. And Georgetown indeed will keep the offense on the field. Georgetown just 24% on 4th down, I should say, on the season. Concordia has allowed opponents to convert 50% of the time. It isn't limited numbers, but nevertheless, it is possible to convert this here, and Georgetown needs the 24-yard line to keep the drive alive. And now we have a timeout called by Georgetown head coach Bill Cronin. Play clock was winding down there, and I think also Coach Cronin didn't like what he saw on the field. He'll spend Georgetown's first timeout here in the first half. 13:44 remaining here in the second quarter at Toyota Stadium. Georgetown facing a 4th and 8. Trying to keep the drive alive as they trail Concordia 14-0 on stretch. Couple of updates from other playoff action. Lindsey Wilson underway, taking on Bethel College out of Kansas. Lindsey leads that one in the second quarter by a score of 7-3. Kaiser University continues to roll over Arizona Christian. That game has now gone to halftime. Kaiser leads Arizona Christian 49-7. Reinhardt still leads Marion 7-2. And the other game going on right now, Grandview leads Dort 9-3. That game late in the first half. But Georgetown trailing here and needs to move the ball to the Concordia 24-yard line. Otherwise, the Cardinals get the ball back. Dampier rolling up, the throw back to the right side. That ball is there, but it is short of the line to gain. Isaiah Cobb was wide open on the far side, and Zach Dampier did not get enough on the ball. And Georgetown's going to come up 2 yards shy. There was no one on that side of the field for the Cardinals, and Dampier just short-armed it. Cobb would have easily had a first down and might have even at least gotten that ball inside the 10-yard line. Georgetown gave Concordia a dose of their own medicine on the play, and it was there for the taking, and Dampier didn't have the arm strength to get it there. That is a deflating type of finish to a drive that had promise. Donovan Johnson goes in motion as Concordia gets it back. Here is Johnson on the near side. Gang tackled as he tries to get back to the line of scrimmage and can't quite do it. He'll lose one to the 25. Colin Smith on the stop. Chad Holleran also in on the play to force Johnson back into the help. So 2nd and 11, but long down and distance situations have not been a concern thus far in the game for the Cardinals. Morrison from the gun again. He'll throw it near side, and that ball's going out of play there as Johnson caught it. He was out of bounds, though. Excellent coverage from Zion Bethel. Johnson was never going to get his feet inbound. Both near side officials threw their hats down to indicate Johnson was out of bounds. But great coverage that time by Bethel as Johnson was taken right out of the play. But another 3rd and 11 situation. The second Concordia touchdown came on 3rd and 11. They also converted a 3rd and 11 earlier in that same touchdown drive. Both passes going to Luke Wilson, who is in on the top side in the bunch formation. Pressure coming. Morrison wants to go near side, and that is high and behind the target of Donovan Johnson. And Georgetown turns it over on downs, but the defense forces a 3-and-out. First time Concordia will punt today. Casey Roush will do the honors. The freshman, as we said, also starting inside linebacker, averages 39 yards per kick. And with Jake Johnson out of the game here today, Georgetown will have Isaiah Cobb and Bryson Cobb await the kick. Roush with that left foot. Good high kick, end over end, and Bryson Cobb will field it at the 32-yard line, out across the 40. Bryson Cobb making something happen. Flag comes in on the far side. This will likely come back. Roush winds up making the tackle of Bryson Cobb at the 48-yard line, but a flag on the far side will likely bring this back. As Bryson Cobb was out towards that sideline and cut back inside, the flag came in.
Return team number 41. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul.
Colton Cornish, the sophomore linebacker, called for a block in the back, so the penalty is going to back the ball up 10 yards from the spot. So Georgetown will start this drive from its own 33-yard line. 12:35 to go in the second quarter. And the Tigers still trailing 14-0. This Concordia bench surely happy with themselves. It's especially interesting seeing that's from a lot of the guys doing the chirping that don't see the field of play. Dampier, quick toss to the near side. That is pulled down by Wetstein. Not much there. Gain of 1 on the play for the Paris, Kentucky native as Hunter Maynard cut him down. But you still need one of your receivers to step up and start making plays at this point. You can see how much this Georgetown offense is being affected by the absence of Jake Johnson as of now. Tamir Jones will be on the near side, Will Thomas to the top side. They are your two receivers as Nick Conley is in the backfield on 2nd and 9. Dampier with room to run if he wants it. Crowd wanting him to run, and Dampier took way too long to run it and took way too big of a hit on the far sideline. Georgetown bench and fans yelling for Dampier to run as he had probably 5 or 6 yards of green light and green space to run and chose not to until taking that pop on the far sideline to limit himself to a gain of 2. It now stands at 3rd and 7 for the Tigers. You had TJ Wetstein make a big catch on the previous drive to keep the drive alive. Who can Georgetown call on to do that here on this play? Plenty of time again. Dampier, though, now down the field, and that's well wide. Another good job in coverage as Dampier eventually had to bail out, but there was just nowhere to go once again down the field. And again, this Concordia secondary does the job, and Georgetown will send on the punting unit one more time. Josh Edwards on for the 3rd time. Jekyll and Hyde in the first quarter. His first punt of the day went 12 yards. He made it for it the second time by booting one 46. Not much of a win to speak of. That shouldn't be a factor as Ryan Fish stands back at his own 27-yard line. Pressure comes. Edwards able to get it away, and Fish will catch it right at the 27-yard line. Great job in coverage by Georgetown on the play. Jacob Brass, the freshman, does a good job in coverage and sticks right with Fish to not allow him any kind of return. And Concordia will stay right there at the 27-yard line to start this possession with 10 minutes and 54 seconds remaining in the second quarter.
From the Cardinals' 27-yard line.
Peter Morrison back to work. 9 of 13 for 134 and 2 touchdowns to start this game. 2 men in the backfield this time. Wilson being the lead blocker on the play as they try to get it out wide on that first down play. That was Amir Wilburn, the freshman, getting a carry here in this sequence.
Number 36, Amir Wilburn, the ball carrier. No gain on the play.
Just the 15th carry of the season for Wilburn. No gain on the play. And Georgetown's defense continues to be stout in the run game. Concordia has run the ball 8 times for just 5 yards, but it's been the passing for the Cardinals that has been the difference thus far. Morrison again will have Wilson alongside him in the backfield, along with Wilburn. Smith and White showing pressure. Here they come. Wilburn right up the middle as they caught Georgetown in a blitz, and Wilburn gets out to the 36-yard line.
Tackle was by number 21,
Zion Bethel gets the stop, but it's a pickup of 9 on the play.
Gain of 9 on the play. It's third down.
3rd and 1 for the Cardinals, and Georgetown could really use a stop here. But if you're Concordia, you have the entire playbook at your disposal right now, especially given how well Peter Morrison has been throwing the ball early in this game. 3rd down and 1. Clay comes to the near side. Wilburn remains in the backfield. Both tight ends shift. Wilson into the backfield. He'll be the lead blocker once again. And Wilburn up ahead, and that's going to be close, depending on the spot. I think he's going to be about a half a yard shy as Bryce Bowen came in and stood him up as he just crossed the 36-yard line. And indeed, it looks like he will be shy of the line to gain. It'll make it 4th down and about 18 inches. And now Concordia head coach Josh Schumacher has a decision. Does he leave his offense here on the field at this field position, or does he elect to punt it away? Right now his offense is staying on the field. The play clock's down to 12, and Concordia will have to use a timeout here. A little bit of indecisiveness. I think Coach Schumacher also didn't like the spot that Wilburn got on the play, and so the Cardinals will use their first timeout with exactly 9 minutes to go. And this is an interesting decision here for Coach Schumacher. His defense has been playing well thus far. Georgetown has just 75 yards of offense, averaging just over 3 yards per play. At this point in the field, I would think, if you're Concordia, if it was me, I would go up to the line and try and draw Georgetown offside on a hard count. If that doesn't work, you take the 5-yard penalty and punt it away. I don't know that you want to give this Georgetown team some confidence if they come up with a stop. Because if Georgetown comes up with a stop, obviously they'll take over where the ball is marked right now. And it could give them a chance to get their offense some confidence going forward as well. So that's what I would do if I was Coach Schumacher, try and draw Georgetown offside with the hard count. We'll see what happens here, but Concordia is sending the offense back out onto the field. It is 4th down, and really about, as I said, about a 1.5 feet to gain the first down, and Morrison will go under center. Kevontae Brown in the backfield as they go heavy up front. Morrison will try the sneak. It will depend on the spot. I think he got it. The far side lineman coming in. Looks like he's past the marker, and it is. So Concordia does gamble on its own side of the field, and they get enough for the first down. They only needed about 18 inches. I think Morrison got maybe a yard, maybe a yard and a half. So the ball spotted now at the Concordia 38-yard line. Their second 4th down conversion of the day. Morrison. He got hit as he threw by Chad Holleran and incomplete. He was looking for Clay on the post, and Holleran got him right on the arm as he was letting it go for the incomplete pass. Good pressure inside from Holleran, the sophomore out of Frankfurt. Morrison now 9 of 14 for 134 and the 2 scores. Stack set to the top side. Luke Wilson in on the left side of the line at tight end. Brown in the backfield. He'll be blocking for Morrison. Morrison down the seam. Wide open is Ahmad Clay right at the sticks as Bethel was playing soft on the coverage, and Clay right at midfield hauls it in. Sheffield comes in on the stop, but see right now, the way this first half has gone, Concordia believes they've spotted a weakness in Zion Bethel. They have gone at him early and often, and Clay took advantage that time for a pickup of 12. So the Cardinals go from midfield, 8:05 to go in the first half. White coming off the near side, bats that one away. Timed the rush off the line perfectly. Left tackle Gabe Dowling never even got out of his stance before White was by him, and White with the heads-up play to swat that one down. One of the reasons why he was named the Mid-South Conference Bluegrass Division Defensive Player of the Year. He hears the Concordia bench chirping at him. He wants more of it. How fun is that? Now the Georgetown fans saying, hey, we can make some noise here too. He continues to chirp, does White at the Concordia bench. Second and 10 from midfield. Smith comes in motion. Pressure this time into the middle. Johnson has it again. Georgetown needs to start getting Zion Bethel some help as he continues to play off, and Johnson now with the catch to the 34-yard line, a pickup of 16. And they are right at the line, but Zion Bethel is having himself a rough first half. Morrison with pressure coming. Smith and Amashule trying to chase him down, and Smith will get him. That ball is thrown out. That didn't make it to the line of scrimmage. As Smith chased him down from behind. Looks like Morrison's okay. And it will be 2nd and 10. Good coverage that time in the secondary for the Tigers, as Morrison that time chose to look away from the left side where Zion Bethel has been lined up and has had trouble here in the first half. 7:29 to go in the second quarter. Concordia still in control, 14-0. Ahmad Clay will be to the top side against Bethel this time. Johnson to the near side working against Kyron Simpson. They'll hand off to the middle to Kevontae Brown. He'll push forward, and one of the better runs of the day for Concordia. It's a pickup of 3. And the ball goes to the 31-yard line to make it 3rd and 7. Got stoppage on the play here. It's like
it's 3rd down 7.
So we got a brief stoppage for an injury. There's Chris Bostrom, the backup right guard, was in on the play and was a little shaken up, so he has to go out now. Was in there at the right guard spot for Trey Freeman, and now we'll see Hunter Smith coming off the bench, and some late substitutions and indecisiveness there from Concordia, and they will have to spend their second time out here with 7 minutes and 13 seconds to go in the first half. Other updates from NAIA playoff football action. Dort has scored a touchdown, kicked the extra point to move ahead of Grandview 10-9. That game at halftime. Kaiser still leading Arizona Christian 49-7. Bethel College out of Kansas currently leading Lindsey Wilson late in the first half by a score of 10-7. That would be a big upset there. Lindsey Wilson ranked number 3 in the country. Northwestern out of Iowa leading Dickinson State 7-0 early on in that one. Reinhardt has added another score. And late in the third quarter, they lead Marion by a score of 14-2. Olivet Nazarene and Baker doing battle right now. Baker leads that one 7-3 in the first quarter. The other game going on, Morningside, the number 1 team in the country, taking on Carroll College out of Montana. They are scoreless late in the first quarter. Back here at Toyota Stadium, Georgetown looking to get off the field here on this third down play. Zion Bethel now checks out, and Rob Sheffield is going to move to corner on the near side. Bryce Bowen moves back to safety. 3rd down and 7 as Morrison looks. Over the middle, Wilson has it. He will be stood up by Peyton Standifer, 2 yards shy of the first down. What a tackle by Standifer on the play. Knew Wilson had more work to do and stood his ground and walled up. And it'll wind up now being moved back to the 27-yard line, so it'll be 4th down and 3. And Concordia will send on Luis Gomez to try one from 44 yards out. This would be a season long for Gomez, the freshman who took over the kicking duties in week 3. He's 4-5 on the season. Gomez from 44. Blocked away on the near side, and that will be swallowed up at the 31-yard line as Rob Sheffield, first team All-Mid-South, comes in from the right side and hammers that one down, and Georgetown's defense gets the stop. Gomez had to get that one out a little lower to get the distance there, and Sheffield just dropped the hammer. And Georgetown will get the ball back. It'll be Tiger ball at the 32-yard line. Now, if you're Georgetown, you've got to find a way to start putting points on the board, and Bill Cronin has decided to make a quarterback change. Hunter Kraus now in for this series as Dampier has been struggling in this one, 7 of 15 for 59. Here is Isaiah Cobb on the carry, though, out across the 35 to the 36-yard line, a gain of 4.
Number 2, Isaiah Cobb on the carry.
Georgetown still clearly missing Jake Johnson in this offense. And Johnson out today. He's on the sidelines in street clothes. So Hunter Kraus comes in, 59% completion percentage, 826 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. He's the bigger of the 2 quarterbacks. Dampier pulls the ball back in, now throws it, and that is, I believe, caught by Thomas right at the sticks. And that'll be a first down. Great job by Will Thomas to go down to the turf to get his arms underneath that ball. Second catch of the day for Thomas. So now it'll be the Tigers from the 42-yard line. 5:30 to go in the first half. And remember, Georgetown received the opening toss, so Concordia will get it to start the second half. Hunter Kraus, near side. He has the big arm and the double move. Kramer is out there and just a bit too far. Noah Kramer had torched Mark Wilson on the out-and-up move, and Kraus just put a little too much mustard on it. Well, if that ball is on target, Kramer cruises to the end zone. But that's what happens sometimes for the quarterback coming in, and Hunter Kraus, who has seen less and less of the field as the season has gone on. He was the starter the first couple of weeks for Georgetown before he was supplanted by Zach Dampier, and just missed Kramer on this one. Quick toss to the near side. Aaron Maggard trying to cut in the middle and ran into his own man, TJ Wetstein, as Maggard was indecisive on where he wanted to go. It'll just be a gain of 1 to bring up 3rd and 9. Clock rolls, under 5 minutes to go here at Toyota Stadium in the second quarter. Kraus momentarily in the pistol, now in the traditional gun look as Wetstein goes in motion to the top side. And now before the play, a false start, and I think it's going to be on Will Thomas at the top side.
False start, offense, number 71.
They called Max Hill for it at the right tackle spot. I thought Thomas moved as well. Second penalty of the day against Georgetown, but an ill-advised timing on it as it turns a 3rd and 9 situation into a 3rd and 14 situation. Hill, the lone non-senior on this offensive line. He is just a sophomore and sets his team back 5 yards further. 4 receivers for Kraus. Pressure coming from the top side from Hinojosa. Kraus near side and way overshot Tamir Jones. Mark Wilson was in coverage the entire way, and I think there might have been a miscommunication there between Kraus and Wilson. Excuse me, Kraus and Jones, and Kraus is heading right over to Tamir Jones, I think, to discuss it. But nevertheless, Georgetown tries the quarterback change there, and the result is the same. Another punt coming from Josh Edwards. You just get the feeling right now that Georgetown's defense and or special teams is going to have to come up with a turnover at some point because the Tiger offense is completely flat here in the first half. Just 86 yards of offense for Georgetown. That ball is blocked. Ball straight up into the air, and that is caught on the near sideline by James Carpenter, and he is inside the 20-yard line. Concordia had been showing pressure on those punts throughout the entire first half. Edwards took a little too long, and things just continue to go against the Tigers here as Edwards slammed his helmet down on the sideline. And Edwards looking around, like frustrated just in general, and I think part of that still leans back to the first punt of the game. But Edwards was really not in any hurry to get that punt off. It was blocked and picked up by James Carpenter, the freshman backup tailback, and now Concordia is going to start at the Georgetown 20-yard line with 4:08 to go in the half and looking to extend their lead once again. They'll try to bring it out to 3 scores. High formation set here, and Morrison down the seam and over the top of Devontae Johnson. DJ White in pressure in the backfield, but still Johnson was open for a moment as he was being defended by Kyron Simpson on the play, but it was just a little bit high. Still, I like the idea, though, from Concordia. You've got a team on its heels. Take a shot on the first play. Concordia did it on the first play they had offensively after the Edwards 12-yard punt. They tried to get in there just a bit off the mark. Dorian Edmond back into the backfield for the Cardinals on this series. And he'll get the ball here on second and wide open down the right sideline, and Dorian Edmond inside the 5-yard line. There was no one off that right side defensively for Georgetown. Dorian Edmond, a gain of 16 on the play. It is now 1st and goal for the Cardinals.
Hey fans, here's a safety check. Be sure your masks are covering your nose and mouth. Thank you for your cooperation.
Center Caleb Muxlow already at the line. 2 receivers go out to the top side, and now Concordia hustles to the line. Edmond in the backfield once again. Edmond will get the handoff going left side, trying to cut it back in the middle. He is popped by Peyton Standifer. May have gotten to the 3-yard line, but nothing else. Standifer came in there like a wrecking ball, I think just trying to see if he could pop that ball loose, but Edmond did a nice job handling it. They do call it a gain of 1, so it's 2nd and goal from the 3 as we approach 3 minutes remaining in the first half. Concordia right now in no hurry. They know they're in control. They're assuming they have at least 3 points in their back pocket, but they also want to bleed more clock off here. Play clock at 10. Clay comes in motion. They'll play fake here, and Morrison to the end zone. Wide open is Nolan Smith, and this is still all Concordia, and it's getting away from Georgetown in a hurry as no one covered Nolan Smith in the back of the end zone. Morrison's 3rd touchdown pass of the first half. And remember, in the 4 games he played in the regular season, he only had 5 touchdowns in total. That one is up from Gomez, and it is good. 2:38 remaining in the first half, and Concordia continues to dominate on both sides of the field as they now lead Georgetown 21-0 on stretch. I have to imagine that some paint is going to be peeled off the walls in the Georgetown locker room at halftime because they have had the fight taken to them from the opening kickoff of this game and to this point have not shown much resistance in trying to get back into it. They have been flat offensively, they have been confused defensively, and special teams have been a disaster, and it just may have gotten worse right here. If Isaiah Cobb touched that, that ball's out of bounds at the 4-yard line.
The ball is touched, it goes out of bounds
and he did.
at the 4-yard line. First down,
The ball fluttered short. Cobb couldn't get out of the way, and instead of a procedure violation, Georgetown's going to start this drive at its own 4-yard line. And if you're Georgetown right now, who do you go to at quarterback? Zach Dampier was 7 of 15 for 59. We saw Hunter Kraus on the last drive. He was 2 for 4 for 7 yards and wasn't even close on a couple of long balls down the field. And for the Tigers right now, you just want to try and get a first down here to get out of the shadow of your own end zone. I'd have to imagine Concordia is going to start ramping up the pressure right here. Head coach Josh Schumacher also serves as the team's defensive coordinator, so he'll probably want to ramp things up here. Georgetown instead with the handoff right at the gut and not much doing, maybe just across the 5-yard line, just shy of the 6.
Number 11, Zach Babb on the carry. Gain of 1 on the play. Second down 9, Tigers.
Second down as the ball spotted at the 6, so call it 2nd and 8. As Kraus now gets room to go from the gun, he'll hand off up the middle. Once again on the play, just a couple as the Tigers move out to the 8-yard line. And now Concordia will spend its final timeout with 1:49 to go in the half. Also have a Cardinal shaken up on the play. Looks like Colin Vaughn may be a little shaken up, but nevertheless, the Cardinals will spend their final timeout here with 1:49 to go in the half. This is a Georgetown defense, by the way, that came into today allowing just 17 points per game and 295 yards per game. Obviously, you see Concordia already with 21 points on the board in the first half. But they also have 265 yards of offense in the first half compared to just 88 for Georgetown. Concordia averaging 7.6 yards per play to 2.9 for Georgetown. And, of course, Concordia has been aided by a couple of special teams gaffes from Josh Edwards. The 12-yard punt on the first series of the game, and then the blocked punt on the previous Georgetown possession, and Concordia turned that and went 20 yards on the next drive for the touchdown. And now if Georgetown doesn't move any further from here, Edwards will be standing deep in his own end zone and having to think about the fact his last punt got blocked. The Tigers out of the Concordia timeout need the 14-yard line to keep the drive alive. Corners and press coverage on the Tiger receivers. Kraus with time into the middle. Aaron Magger, nice job to go down, and he'll bring it in just outside the 20 at the 21-yard line for the first down. Pretty simple pitch and catch that time, but one that Georgetown really needed in that sequence. 1:30 to go in the half. The Tigers do have 2 timeouts to work with. If you're the Georgetown round, you just like try and get some kind of points on the board, whether it's a field goal or what. And now that ball behind Aaron Maggard, probably still a ball he should have caught, but that was on the back shoulder. But again, this is what you get sometimes when you have a quarterback in Hunter Krause who has not seen the field as much as Dampier has the last month or month and a half. He has not looked sharp in this one. He's missed some throws that Hunter Krause, when he's in rhythm, normally makes. But being pressed into a critical situation here. Wetstein goes in motion on 2nd and 10. Delayed draw, and this is Zach Babb getting his first carry, and we know he likes contact. Keeps that arm over the football, and he'll be smacked down at the 27-yard line for a gain of 6. Some pushing and shoving after the play as Concordia continues to show their excitement, as well they should.
Gain of 6 on the play. It's 3rd down 4.
3rd and 4 for Georgetown. The Tigers 4 of 9 in this situation thus far in the game. 1:14 on the clock. Isaiah Cobb now in the backfield. The corners for Concordia again in press coverage. Can the Georgetown receivers get free? Pressure coming, and Hunter Krause is going down.
Number 14, Hunter Krause, stopped in the backfield.
Eventually brought down on the play by Bryson Williams and also Stefanski. Georgetown will have to punt it away. Another coverage sack. The Tiger receivers have just been really unable to get off the line against these physical Concordia corners. And now all of a sudden Josh Edwards is standing at his own 5-yard line to punt the ball away with 40 seconds to go in the half. Concordia this time playing return all the way in a high spiral, and Fish will call for the fair catch at the Concordia 45-yard line. So the Cardinals will have 31.7 seconds to try and get some points on the board. They are out of timeouts.
First down 10 from the Cardinals 45-yard line.
And I think right now, if you're Georgetown, you cannot give up points on this drive. Whether it's a field goal or obviously a touchdown, you've got to go into the locker room with Concordia still on 21 points. With the way the Concordia defense has played in this first half, I don't know that a 28-0 deficit would be able to be come back from. 24-0, you've still got a chance there. It's still a 3-score game. But you've got to keep this at 21-0 if you're Georgetown right now. Morrison throws to the near side and just outside of the target there as he was looking for Donovan Johnson.
Second down 10, Cardinals.
Just trying that out route there. They're trying to get Johnson not only a first down, but out of bounds to save the clock. It took 5 seconds off, shows 26-8. Been a while since we called Luke Wilson's name. He had 5 catches for 61 yards in that first quarter. Just 1 grab for 4 yards here in the second. We'll see if they look back his way. Instead, they'll give it to Brown on the draw, and Kevontae Brown goes just across midfield to the 49-yard line, trying to get something to happen here as the clock rolls and now shows 15 seconds in the half. And Concordia looking to the sideline here and try and get something going here. Clock down to 8. This will likely be the final play of the half, down to 5. Morrison with pressure, and Colin Smith will get him in the backfield all the way back at the 36-yard line, and the first half comes to an end. It's the first sack of the day for the Georgetown defense. Not much else, though, goes the Tigers' way in the first half as Concordia comes on the road and, by their standards, put on an offensive show in the first half. Nearly 250 yards offense for the Cardinals. And meanwhile, their defense has held Georgetown to just 105 on the day. Neither Georgetown quarterback has gotten anything going. Any way you slice it or talk about it, that was a dominant first half for the Cardinals of Concordia, who in this opening playoff game on the road lead Georgetown 21-0 on stretch.
Here's how this will work. You'll watch this commercial, then look up Georgetown College. No, not that one. The Christian college in Kentucky. You'll be impressed with the school and your scholarship. You'll watch GC win yet another national championship with lifelong friends. You'll attend Oxford University. You'll take a class with that professor who blows your mind. You'll find your major and your career. You'll get internships and graduate, and your Georgetown degree will get you that first job or into grad school. You'll remember this as the moment that shaped your life. You're welcome. Think different. Think GC. Apply now at georgetowncollege.edu.
It's not about classes just being harder. It's always about depth in a subject matter.
We take all the excellent work that you've already done as a student wherever you are, and then we supercharge it. We send you off to Oxford University, where you work one-on-one with an Oxford professor. You come back with an entire worldview.
What Georgetown College does exceptionally well is it gives students the opportunity to have an extraordinary research experience either here or any place else in the country.
Last summer I got to participate in research at Marshall University, and it was a super cool experience.
This is like the main research I've done in college, and this is pretty much what's going to get me to grad school.
One of my favorite things about the honors program is that it really does feel like a family. You just have these bonds with each other that are unbreakable.
Part of that care for you, however, is to try to urge you towards the highest skills and virtues that you've got to offer.
Let's talk numbers. 1. That's our ranking in Kentucky for the difference we make in our students' future earnings. 3. That's the number of years in a row we've been ranked as best in Kentucky for students getting their first job or into graduate school. 100. That's the percentage of fully qualified students from our pre-med program who get accepted into medical school. 30. That's the number of seconds it just took to change your life. Think different. Think GC. Apply for free at georgetowncollege.edu.
I wanted to make sure I went to a college that could help me grow in my faith. Georgetown just encourages me.
I've just learned to accept that we have different beliefs and we may believe different things within Christianity, but we all come together.
When I came here and got to know the staff and faculty, I just felt like it was very personal.
Ever since I've been here, I have grown closer to God. It has allowed me to grow further in my faith.
When I was looking at Georgetown College, I found that they had a Christian Scholars Program that kind of focused on vocation and a person's calling.
Two things that have made it incredibly important throughout its history is its commitment to academics and its commitment to be faith-filled and help nurture this Christian identity.
The way they see their role in the world is greatly transformed from being a Christian to doing something as Christ would do for the world around them.
Here's how this will work. You'll watch this commercial, then look up Georgetown College. No, not that one. The Christian college in Kentucky. You'll be impressed with the school and your scholarship. You'll watch GC win yet another national championship with lifelong friends. You'll attend Oxford University. You'll take a class with that professor who blows your mind. You'll find your major and your career. You'll get internships and graduate, and your Georgetown degree will get you that first job or into grad school. You'll remember this as the moment that shaped your life. You're welcome. Think different. Think GC. Apply now at georgetowncollege.edu.
It's not about classes just being harder. It's always about depth in a subject matter.
We take all the excellent work that you've already done as a student wherever you are, and then we supercharge it. We send you off to Oxford University, where you work one-on-one with an Oxford professor. You come back with an entire worldview.
What Georgetown College does exceptionally well is it gives students the opportunity to have an extraordinary research experience either here or any place else in the country.
Last summer I got to participate in research at Marshall University, and it was a super cool experience.
This is like the main research I've done in college, and this is pretty much what's going to get me to grad school.
One of my favorite things about the honors program is that it really does feel like a family. You just have these bonds with each other that are unbreakable.
Part of that care for you, however, is to try to urge you towards the highest skills and virtues that you've got to offer.
Let's talk numbers. 1. That's our ranking in Kentucky for the difference we make in our students' future earnings. 3. That's the number of years in a row we've been ranked as best in Kentucky for students getting their first job or into graduate school. 100. That's the percentage of fully qualified students from our pre-med program who get accepted into medical school. 30. That's the number of seconds it just took to change your life. Think different. Think GC. Apply for free at georgetowncollege.edu.
are at halftime at Toyota Stadium. Concordia has dominated the Georgetown Tigers in the first half, leading this game by a score of 21-0. Offense has been ugly for the Tigers from the start. Georgetown just 105 yards offense, averaging just 3 yards of play. Bill Cronin has tried both of his quarterbacks, Zach Dampier and Hunter Kraus, in the first half. Neither have done much. Dampier 7 of 15 for 59 yards. Kraus came in late in the second quarter, played a couple of series, 3 of 6 for 20 yards. Will Thomas leads the way in receiving for the Tigers, 2 catches for 20 yards. Barber and Maggard each with 19 yards apiece, 2 and 3 catches respectively there. Georgetown's also had its issues in the special teams game. First series of the game, Josh Edwards gets off a 12-yard punt. Not much pressure in the area. It was a flat-out shank. And Concordia turned around, and Peter Morrison connected with Donovan Johnson on the first play offensively for Concordia for a 7-0 lead. And then late in the half, Josh Edwards back to punt again. Not the quickest at getting the punt off. It was blocked. Concordia took over at the Georgetown 20-yard line, eventually put it in the end zone one more time. So 2 special teams gaffes for Georgetown there have led directly to 14 points for the Cardinals. Really, just any way you shake it, Georgetown has been out of sync from the get-go. I think the Tigers have also been caught off guard with the way that Concordia has been passing the ball here today. Concordia on the regular season was much more of a ground and pound type of team. Throw it when they have to. I told you at the top of the broadcast, in a win against Taylor, Peter Morrison threw for just 107 yards. In the win against Marion, Morrison threw for just 68 yards in that one. So this output from Morrison here in the first half, and we think we might have a change in scoring here that may affect his yardage total there, but nevertheless, he has been efficient. His receivers have been open. They brought the ball in when they've had to. Luke Wilson's had a nice first half, 6 for 65 and a score. Donovan Johnson, 4 catches for 75 yards. And I think it's just thrown Georgetown off. I don't think Georgetown expected Concordia to come in here and throw the ball the way they've been throwing in the first half. In either case now, for Georgetown, run defense has been just fine. Concordia has run the ball 16 times for minus 5 yards. Of course, the 13-yard loss came on the sack at the end of the half, but nevertheless, Concordia has never had much of a running game going here in this game, and that's been their strength all year long. They average 165 yards on the ground per game in the first half, minus 5. But anyway, shake it, it's not going to matter unless the Georgetown offense wakes up and gets going here in the second half. The receiving corps has been ineffective in the game, primarily due to the press coverage that the Concordia D-backs have put out wide. It's made things tough for Georgetown. And you also have to take into consideration that Georgetown is without the services of its leading wide receiver, Jake Johnson. He is not playing here today, and Georgetown has sorely missed him in the first half. It allowed Concordia to really key in on Darius Barber and take him out of the game. Barber just 2 carries for 19 yards, or 2 catches for 19 yards in the first half. He ran it once and lost 2. Georgetown just 26 yards on the ground in the first half on 14 carries. And you have to figure at this point going into the second half here that Georgetown's not going to be able to rely much on the run game going forward because of the 3-score deficit at this point. As we also told you at the top of the broadcast, a lot of other games going on in the NAIA playoff first round. 7 other games, as a matter of fact. And taking a look at some of the scores here. Midway through the third, Dort continues to lead Grandview by a score of 10-9. Kaiser continues to rack up the points against Arizona Christian. They lead that one 63-21 in the fourth. Lindsey Wilson, starting the second half, has moved ahead of Bethel. They lead 14-10 a minute into the third quarter there. Northwestern leads Dickinson State 17-7 in the first half. Reinhardt leads Marion now by a score of 20-2. That game in the third quarter. Number 1 Morningside's gotten going here, and at the end of the first half, they lead Carroll 34-0. And finally, Olivet Nazarene leads Baker by a score of 24-21. That game in the second half. First time we've been able to call Chris Klein's name here today. He will kick this off to start the second half. Seeger DeGainer and Ryan Fish back deep, and Fish will field it at his own 6-yard line. Fish up across the 20 and is knocked down at the 25-yard line by Colton Cornish. And Concordia will begin the second half there. Peter Morrison, 13 of 22 in the first half, along with those 3 touchdowns. He had just 5 passing touchdowns in the 4 regular season games he played. He did not suit up in the 61-17 win over Madonna on March 22nd. That's the other thing you have to keep in mind, too. This is the first game for Concordia in 3 weeks. Their final 2 regular season games against Indiana Wesleyan and Lawrence Tech were canceled due to COVID protocol. Morrison on the play fake, bit everybody on it, and there is Luke Wilson. He had a quiet second quarter. He starts the third quarter huge, and now a flag comes in late, and this might be coming back here, as at least some of it anyway, as Donovan Johnson was trying to take care of Rob Sheffield on the near side and provide a block for Wilson, but it looks like at least some of this run's going to come back, and they're going to get Johnson for a hold. It'll be the 3rd penalty of the game against Concordia. They should mark this off 10 yards from the spot here, so we'll see. That marks it up. The flag at the 39-yard line, so it'll be backed up to the 29-yard line, so it'll officially make it 1st and 6.
Holding penalty, a 10-yard penalty from the point of infraction.
So wipes out a good chunk of yardage there for Luke Wilson on a beautiful play fake, as Morrison had DJ White completely lost on that, as White was going after the running back in the backfield, Kevontae Brown. Brown in the first half, 8 carries for just 13 yards. Brown's in the backfield to the left of Morrison now alongside Luke Wilson. Brown gets the carry, his best run of the day. It'll be a first down out across the 35 to the 37-yard line. And now Concordia continues to work in the hurry up here. They did that quite a bit in the first half, and when you do that, you don't allow the defense to get itself set up. They pretty much have to stay in a base-type coverage. They get themselves set here now as Dorian Edmonds back in the play. That ball is knocked down in the backfield. Colin Smith in on the play. And that's the thing with Peter Morrison being smaller in stature at 5'10". You're going to have that every once in a while. A couple of those have happened already in this game. Smith got that one. DJ White, remember, got one in the first half. So now 2nd and 10 from the 37. Georgetown could really use a stoppage from this point. Do not let Concordia get going on another drive. Seeger DeGainer in for the first time at wide receiver to the top side in the trips formation as Edmonds in the backfield. On the option play, Morrison will keep it himself, and DJ White will bring him down at the 40-yard line.
Tackle is by number 3, DJ White. Gain of 3 on the play. It's 3rd down.
Morrison will run it every once in a while, not very often though. Picked up 3 on the play officially, so it'll be 3rd and 7. Clouds continue to thicken up above Toyota Stadium. Again, a little bit of light rain was in the forecast here today. Haven't seen any as of yet, but the clouds show that it's possible. The Cardinals need the 47-yard line to keep the drive moving as Wilson comes in motion. And out there, he'll have it at the 50-yard line for a first down as Sheffield was late to react. Similar type of play to what they ran on a 3rd and 11 situation deep in their own territory in the first half.
First down 10, Concordia.
But immediately after a quiet second quarter, Concordia is going back to Luke Wilson here in the 3rd, and Wilson is delivering. That is his 8th grab of the ball game. He had 8 catches coming into this game all season long. This is Clay in motion. They'll hand off to Edmond. Dorian Edmond, not much doing there. Marcus Amashule met him at the 47-yard line. This is a little bit more what we normally see from a Concordia offense, more of that ground and pound. And, of course, now sitting on a 3-touchdown lead, they don't have to be in any kind of hurry offensively. But you have to think at this point, again, for Georgetown, you've got to almost ask your defense to get you a turnover at some point. Four wide receiver set for Morrison here on 2nd and 7. He's looking left, now comes across the middle, and that is caught by DeGainer at the 42-yard line. Just the 3rd grab of the year for DeGainer. DeGainer, a freshman out of Linden, Michigan, pulled that one in. Devon Starks pops him at the 42 to make it 3rd and 2. Concordia 4 for 10 on 3rd down. 2 tight ends in on the right side. It'll be Edmond in the backfield. Tight end shift. We've seen this before. Now Smith moves back to the right side. Luke Wilson becomes a fullback on the left side in the backfield. Edmond straight at the middle, little dancing and juking and jiving. It'll be enough, though, for a 1st down, no matter how you draw it up. Needed 2, got 3.
Tackle was by number 54,
Chad Holleran in on the stop for Georgetown. Raphael Roan also in on the play. But Concordia just taking its time. They've already bled 4 minutes and 10 seconds off this drive that is now at the Georgetown 38-yard line. Kevontae Brown back in at tailback here, and the play fake, and Morrison wants it all down the field. Clay is out there, and good job by Kyron Simpson to knock that one away. Ball just a touch underthrown, but a good job there by the sophomore Kyron Simpson to knock that down to the turf and incomplete.
2nd down 10.
Still amazed the way, kind of trying to get some heads up on Concordia. That's the 27th pass Morrison has thrown in the game. Very, very atypical for this Concordia offense, but it has worked very, very well here today. 2nd and 10. Brown up the middle, and Kevontae Brown inside the 25 to the 24-yard line. The longest run of the day for the Cardinals. Give Brown 13. They used DeGainer as a decoy on the end around, and it opened up holes on the right side of the line. Concordia starting to get back to more of what it knows, and that is that ground and pound. From the 24 go the Cardinals. Brown in the backfield once again. This is DeGainer. They'll play fake both, and now Morrison wants it all in the end zone, but way over the top of Devontae Johnson. And you see they continue to work those post routes against these Georgetown corners. And from what I am seeing here really late through the second, into the second quarter and into the third, Georgetown has effectively benched Zion Bethel. He remains on the sideline here after a really rough go of it in the first quarter and a half. Devon Starks has taken his place in the secondary. Rob Sheffield has moved from safety to corner as Concordia went at Bethel early and often in the ball game and really allowed Morrison to get into a rhythm. 2nd and 10 after the attempted home run hit. Play fake, and Morrison wants it out wide, and there is Wilson. He is hit by Sheffield, but shakes it off, and Standifer and Holleran come to finish it off. But Luke Wilson is having himself a day, by far his best day of the year. That is his 9th catch on the day for 94 yards. And I remind you, coming into this game on the season, Wilson had 8 catches for 90 yards. Georgetown has had no answers for him, and the game plan drawn up by offensive coordinator Jonathan Coddington to feature Luke Wilson has been excellent. 3rd down now, and we'll call it 4 from just inside the 20-yard line. Man comes in motion. That's Deontay Furry. And they'll try and give it to Furry on the jet sweep, and Georgetown says no. Colin Smith sends Furry back to the 23-yard line. And now we've got a Georgetown Tiger down well away from the play. That was DJ White a little slow to get up, and it now turns the play after White comes up a little gimpy. And, of course, he'll have to leave now. Jonathan Botham will take his place. It'll be 4th down and about 9 from the 23-yard line. And Concordia will keep its offense on the field here. From here, you're looking at about a 41-yard field goal try. And remember, back in the first half, Gomez had a try from 44 blocked. So Concordia trying to keep the foot on the pedal here. We'll go for it. 4th and 9. Brown splits out to the near side. A diamond stack to the near side. Morrison wants the top side. Johnson's out there on the double move. Pulled it in, but out of bounds. He had beaten Sheffield to the pylon, but could not keep his feet in bounds, so Georgetown does get the ball back on turnovers. Or back on downs, I should say. Even so, Concordia gives Georgetown the ball back with 8:38 to go in the quarter. They took 6 minutes and 22 seconds off the clock.
Hey fans, just safety reminder, be sure to check your mask and make sure it's over your nose and mouth.
Hunter Krause will be the signal caller for Georgetown to start the second half after Zach Dampier was ineffective through about a quarter and a half to start the ball game. Krause on 1st and 10 with a quick handoff to Cobb. Isaiah Cobb cut down just across the 25-yard line on the play. Excellent tackle by safety Connor Long, and now a Concordia player is down back near the 20-yard line. Can't quite tell who that is from our vantage point. $8:28 to go in the third quarter. We'll step aside while Concordia attends to an injured player on the field. The Cardinals lead the Tigers 21-0 on stretch.
Let's talk numbers. 1, that's our ranking in Kentucky for the difference we make in our students' future earnings. 3, that's the number of years in a row we've been ranked as best in Kentucky for students getting their first job or into graduate school. 100, that's the percentage of fully qualified students from our pre-med program who get accepted into medical school. 30, that's the number of seconds it just took to change your life. Think different. Think GC. Apply for free at georgetowncollege.edu.
Mason Gullen, the backup defensive tackle, was the Cardinal injured on the play, was able to walk off to the bench under his own power. Gullen, a freshman out of Monroe, Michigan. Back to action out of the injury timeout. 2nd and 6 for Georgetown from just inside the 28-yard line. And Isaiah Cobb trying to move forward, and that's not happening as he was met right there by Bryson Williams. Max Hill continues to have a tough day at right tackle there as Williams just easily discarded Hill to meet Cobb. There was nowhere for Isaiah Cobb to go. And now another 3rd and medium situation here for Georgetown. We'll call it 3rd and 5 as the Tigers need the 33-yard line to keep the drive alive. 7:45 to go in the third, and Georgetown still sitting on no points. Krause, good catch in traffic, and that, it will be just shy of the marker, though. That was Wetstein again making a catch in traffic. It'll make it 4th and 1. And looks like Georgetown's going to send on the punting unit. The Tigers' offense doesn't like it, but at this point on the field, and you've got to punt this away just to keep it at a 3-score game. If you turn it over at that point, the way the Concordia offense has been able to move the ball as things have gone along here, that could be lights out. See what Josh Edwards can do on this punt as we go under 7 minutes to go. No problem with the snap. And he lets off a really nice one. And Fish surprisingly calls a fair catch at the 28-yard line. He had about 7 or 8 yards of green space in front to try to make something happen. but instead takes the safe route, and the Cardinals get the ball back. Peter Morrison back out, 17 of 30 for 203 yards and 3 touchdowns in the game. Certainly in running for the offensive MVP of the game. Luke Wilson also a top contender for that award as well. Try and decide on the end of this game on an offensive and defensive MVP for both schools. Georgetown's going to be a little tougher to try and pick somebody out. Morrison with the handoff to Kevontae Brown, and Brown across the 30, pushes forward and falls forward on top of one of his own linemen to the 32-yard line. Used his center, Caleb Muxlow, to get a couple of extra yards. As that Concordia sideline just continues to talk, continues to make noise. Meanwhile, on the Georgetown sideline and in the Georgetown stands, all quiet. 2nd and 7 with 6:20 to go in the third. Brown gets the handoff once again across the 35 and to the 36-yard line. Holleran in on the stop for Georgetown. It'll bring up another situation on 3rd down. This one much more manageable than what Concordia has seen quite often in the game. This is a 3rd and short situation. 3rd and 3. As the Cardinals are 5 of 11 on 3rd down on the game. We'll see if they look for Luke Wilson. Wilson, 9 catches for 94 yards. Wilson will be on the near side of the formation, just behind his tight end counterpart, Nolan Smith. And here goes Wilson in motion. Play fake here. They want Wilson out there, and they've got it. A flag on the near side, though, as Wilson has the first down, as White just overran that. If White keeps his footing right there, he may have an interception, but in either case, a field judge threw the flag in about 20 yards in from the near sideline. So this is likely coming back. Holding is called against the Cardinals. Potentially a break there for Georgetown, but the Tigers have to capitalize on it now by getting off the field. 4th penalty of the day for the Cardinals. Moves it back to the 26-yard line to make it 3rd and 13. 5:25 remaining. The clock continues to burn, and Concordia is just fine with that. They approach the line with 15 seconds on the play clock. Clay goes in motion to the top side. It'll be a 4-receiver set. Luke Wilson in the slot at the top side. He'll be matched up across from DJ White. Morrison with Smith coming, trying to step forward. Peter Morrison out across the 30 and is brought down at the 32-yard line by Chad Holleran, well short of the line to gain. As Colin Smith applied pressure on the left side, and Morrison just had to bail out of the play and take off. And so Concordia will send on its punting unit for just the 2nd time today. It'll be Casey Roush back there to punt it away. Tell you, if I'm Georgetown, I would think about coming after this punt. See if you can get a tip, a shank, just to try to flip the field. Instead, Roush gets off a knuckleball, and Bryson Cobb has it bounce right into his chest, and a flag comes in out near the 40-yard line.
Flag on the play.
Bryson Cobb got pushed back to the 37-yard line, but Georgetown likely going to get backed up on another special teams gaffe. Wait and see what the official call is here, but generally in that area, that goes against the return team.
During the return, block in the back, return team number 83.
Tamir Jones called for the penalty, and this has just been an awful special teams day for Georgetown. Any way you slice it. 2nd time the Tigers have been called for a penalty on a punt return. You've had the 2 bad punts, the 1 bad one I should say from Edwards, and also the block. And then late in the first half, Isaiah Cobb touches the ball on a kickoff that goes out of bounds at the 4-yard line. Hunter Kraus back to work for the Georgetown offense. The Tigers need to get something going on this drive if they're going to get into this ball game. Delayed draw. This is Conley, I believe, falling forward to the 33-yard line. Really, that delayed draw has been Georgetown's most successful play of the day.
Number 30, Nick Conley on the carry.
Georgetown came into today the 5th best team in the country in terms of passing yardage per game at 313. They're sitting on 83 yards passing in the game today. Concordia's secondary has been magnificent. Kraus will see if he challenges here from the gun on 2nd and 4. To the far side. Beautiful ball, and Tamir Jones has it on a play Georgetown badly needed to the 38-yard line. A perfect strike from Kraus to Tamir Jones. Pick up a 25 on the play, and the Tigers badly needed that. First catch of the day for Jones on by far the best throw of the day from either of the Tiger quarterbacks. 3:35 to go as Aaron Maggard comes in motion. Kraus wants it all in this corner. Will Thomas has it in the area, but it's knocked down by Ryan Fish, and Ryan Fish might have just saved a touchdown. Thomas was behind both Fish and the cornerback, Gerald McHenry, and Fish came flying in late to get a fingertip on it to knock it down. Great play from Ryan Fish. Thomas was right there where he needed to be to pull that one in and would have walked into the end zone. Ryan Fish has had himself a nice day in that secondary. As it stands, it's now 2nd and 10 from the 38. Kraus, near side, one hopped it to Maggard. Wanted to go to the left side to Tamir Jones, but he was covered and then some. And just fired a one-hopper to Maggard here. Casey Roush and Max Hill, a little tangled up after the play. Roush wants a penalty. He won't get it. It's 3rd down for Georgetown. And at this spot in the field, this is unquestionably 2-down territory. 3 minutes, 25 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. Georgetown trails 21-0. They haven't had field position like this very often in the game. Wetstein in motion. Kraus with pressure. Kraus trying to move forward. Hunter Kraus has space. He has the first down all the way down to the 20-yard line. Hunter Kraus not known for his mobility, but found some space in the middle and winds up picking up 18 yards on the play for the first down. So the Tigers have gotten a couple of chunk plays here on this drive for the first time in the game. They've moved it down to the Concordia 21. Kraus again, play fakes to Maggard. Pressure coming. Aaron Maggard will catch it out wide. Spins away from one. Aaron Maggard inside the 15, out of bounds, inside the 10-yard line. Caught it, put his right cleat in the ground, and just undressed Aaron Ron out wide. And Aaron Maggard down to the 8-yard line, and the Georgetown offense starting to find a little rhythm here as we go under 2 minutes and 40 seconds in the 3rd quarter. 1st and goal for the 8-yard line, and you're now in a must-score situation here. You got to put it in the end zone. A field goal at this point in the game does you nothing. Bryson and Isaiah Cobb in the backfield. 1st and goal from the 8. Isaiah Cobb, quick handoff, lowers his shoulders, gets down inside the 5.
Number 2, Isaiah Cobb on the carry. Tackle was by number 46, Hunter Maynard.
I think here, too, if you're Georgetown, you might want to start picking up the tempo just a bit here. You know that Concordia is going to try and just bleed clock once they get the ball back. And you're running out of possessions as is if you're the Tigers. Same formation here on 2nd down. Georgetown has an unbalanced line. Jared Kinnaman moves from the left side to the right. Kraus, play fake. On 2nd down, into the middle. Should have been intercepted by Casey Roush as Hunter Kraus never saw him. Was looking for Bryson Cobb over the middle, and Roush stepped right in front of the ball and dropped it. And that would have been a killer. 3rd down and 5. As the Tigers need to punch it into the end zone. They'll go unbalanced again. Nick Conley in the backfield this time alongside Bryson Cobb. Conley up the middle, cut down by Roush at about the 3-yard line. That's a play right there. Clearly indicating Georgetown was thinking 2 plays the entire way here. Now it's 4th and goal from the 3-yard line. And for all intents and purposes, the way this game has gone, this is the season for Georgetown. They'll go quick to the line. Got to put it in the end zone. Toss out wide, and Conley never had a chance. Ryan Fish had it read dead to rights the entire way, and Georgetown's best offensive drive of the game comes up with nothing. And Concordia will take over with 1:05 to go in the 3rd quarter.
The ball is at the Cardinals' 5-yard line.
Concordia has been the superior team from the get-go, and they were ready for that 4th and goal play right there. That play never had a chance. And now Concordia can start to turn an eye towards the clock. 1:05 to go in the 3rd quarter. As Morrison stands on the goal line on this 1st down play and hands off to Brown up the middle. He is met right line of scrimmage, making a push forward to the 7-yard line. He will. 55 seconds to play here, and Concordia, if it wants, will only have to run one more play here to end the 3rd quarter.
Tackle was by number 3, DJ White. Along with the tackle number 19, Colin Smith.
DJ White, Colin Smith in on the stop.
2nd down 8.
30 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. Brown gets the handoff going right side this time, trying to bounce it out wide. He has space across the 10, runs right over Rob Sheffield, but is met by a host of other Tigers at the 13-yard line. It won't be enough for a 1st down, but that got the Concordia bench already fired up more so. As Brown was driven out of bounds, they'll say at the 14-yard line, and it brings us to the end of the 3rd quarter. Score doesn't change, but Concordia does a nice job of burning the clock here in the 3rd quarter, and also its defense makes the play of the game on that 4th and goal stop. And Georgetown's season has come down to a final 15 minutes, and the Tigers are going to need some kind of rally. We head to the 4th. Concordia 21, Georgetown nothing on stretch. $15 more minutes potentially remaining in Georgetown's season, as the Tigers had a chance to score at the end of the 3rd quarter and were stuffed on a 4th and goal from the 3-yard line, and Concordia took it back over. Now we begin the 4th quarter with the Cardinals facing a 3rd and 1 from the 14-yard line. Cardinals 5 of 12 on 3rd down. And White for Georgetown trying to make a play inside, and it'll be enough for a 1st down. Coach Cronin looking at it right down the line and saw it was enough for a 1st down. And Concordia's rushing attack has gotten going here in the second half. They have 82 yards on the ground here in the half on just 12 carries. They were 16 for -5 at the half. Again, getting back to more of what they do, that ground and pound, after a first half in which Morrison threw the ball all over the place. And if you're Georgetown's defense right now, you got to find a way to get the ball back. Here is Wilson, his 10th catch of the day. He is chased down by Colin Smith right at the sticks.
Taken out of bounds by number 19, Colin Smith.
It is enough for a first down, so Wilson now over 100 yards on the day. Just over a minute gone into the fourth quarter. Concordia in no hurry as Morrison not even under center now until 10 seconds on the play clock. Edmond now in the backfield. And Dorian Edmond will get the carry. Holleran stands him up right at the line of scrimmage. No gain. It just feels like right now that the only thing that's going to change the momentum in this game is a turnover. And Concordia has been good at taking care of the ball all year long. They had a +5 turnover margin coming into today. Of course, neither team has turned it over thus far, unless you want to count the turnovers on downs. We've had one of each for both. 2nd and 10 here. Morrison wants to throw. Wants Johnson down the near sideline. A great coverage by Kyron Simpson, but a flag comes in. A flag in from the back judge, and I think Simpson's going to get called for interference, and I do not agree with it in any way, shape, or form. They're going to call interference on Kyron Simpson, and I'm sorry, that's a bad call. There is not much else Kyron Simpson could do there. That was perfect coverage. I try and give officials the benefit of the doubt as much as I can here, but that is a bad call. The Georgetown bench doesn't like it. The fans are even more incensed as Concordia gets a free first down. I don't know what else Kyron Simpson is supposed to do on that play. You're that far down the field, the 5-yard rule no longer applies. Donovan Johnson and Kyron Simpson both had a fair shot at that ball. I don't know how you call that interference on Kyron Simpson. As it stands, the penalty moves the ball to the Concordia 41-yard line, and trying to slip through some tackles there is Amir Wilborn, and he falls forward to the 47.
Gain of 6 on the play, 2nd down 4.
Cardinals in no hurry. They break with 20 on the play clock here as Clay gets shifted to the near side. And now Peter Morrison says, no, come up to the top side, and Kyron Simpson will go with him. Play clock down to 5, and Morrison will snap it with 3. And here is Wilborn trying to cut up, and not much doing. May have gotten a yard to the 48-yard line. It'll make it 3rd and 3.
Number 36, Amir Wilborn, the carrier. Tackle was by number 55, Sander Rotzbag.
You don't ever like to talk in absolutes in these types of situations, but for Georgetown, this feels like a must stop. If Concordia picks up a first down, you can kiss another 2 or 3 minutes off the clock goodbye, and we're at 11:25 and rolling right now. Possessions and times for possessions are slipping away for the Tigers. 3rd and 3. Hand off to Wilborn up the middle and won't even come close. In fact, may have just gotten back to the line of scrimmage. But nevertheless, Concordia offense puts the ball at midfield and flips the field, and Casey Roush will come on to punt it away.
It's fourth down.
Isaiah Cobb, Bryson Cobb will stand back at the 15-yard line.
Deep for Georgetown, number 25, Bryson Cobb, and number 2,
Coach Bill Cronin wondering who is going to make a play. Roush punts this one away, end-over-end kick, and not the longest of which. It'll be downed just shy of the 20-yard line. And that's where Georgetown will take over. They'll mark it at the 21, and Hunter Kraus will be the man to lead the Georgetown offense. Zach Dampier on the sideline just holding his helmet in his hand. Kraus on the day 6 of 12 for 66, and he's the leading passer on the day for Georgetown after Dampier was ineffective in the first half. .10:31 remaining, potentially in Georgetown's season. Another drive where you say to yourself, points have to go on the board here. 4 wide receivers, quick throw to the near side. Aaron Maggard. And Maggard just lowers his head and gets maybe to the 25, and I think a favorable spot at that. Call it a gain of 4. And I think also right now if you're Georgetown, you've got to start picking up the tempo offensively.
Gain of 4 on the play. Second down, 6.
Kraus gets the call in from the sideline. 10 minutes remaining here at Toyota Stadium. And still Concordia leads 21-0. Kraus swings it out to Isaiah Cobb. Cobb into the middle. He'll get to about the 30, and he'll be a yard shy of the first down.
Tackles by number 46, Hunter Maynard.
Second catch of the day for Isaiah Cobb. 3rd and 1. Georgetown now 5 of 13 on 3rd down in the game, and they'll make some changes. Bronson Thomas, 320-pound left guard, comes in on this play. 3rd and 1 for the Tigers. Aaron Maggard sprints out wide. Nick Conley will have the first down out to the 32-yard line as he skipped over the top of Ryan Fish to pick up the necessary yardage. So the drive continues for Georgetown as we now have 9 minutes remaining. And again, without Jake Johnson, the threat of a deep ball has just not been there for Georgetown. They've tried it a couple of times with Kramer and Thomas, but it's not been there. And now the Tigers with late subs in, and the clock continues to roll. And Concordia is just fine with this. Kraus now under center with 10 seconds. Georgetown burned over 30 seconds on that play right there. Bad pass from Kraus to Maggard. Maggard had nowhere to go. I don't think Kraus ever had a clean grip on that ball when he fired it toward Maggard. And now a late flag comes in on the sideline. I wonder if perhaps this is a sideline warning here against Georgetown. Didn't see anything that looked out of sorts. Now Aaron Maggard getting a little demonstrative here.
After the play.
Aaron Maggard just got called for an unsportsmanlike conduct after the play. And the day just continues to continue its trend from the get-go. Georgetown just has not been able to get anything going, and now they can't get out of their own way. As the ball moves back to the 17-yard line, the down counts, so it's now 2nd and 25 from the 17-yard line. And, oh, by the way, the clock continues to run, 8:10 showing in Georgetown's season. Kraus down the seam, way over the top of Wetstein. Wetstein trying to say he was grabbed over the middle, and the ball flutters incomplete. Ryan Fish tried for the interception there, but now it becomes 3rd and 25. There's been one team on this field that has had energy and mojo from the get-go, and it's been the team in white. Georgetown has been flat from the opening kickoff, and Concordia, like good teams do, has made Georgetown pay for it all day long. Kraus on third and forever. He'll throw it short to Wettstein. He'll have it at about the original line of scrimmage, +1, so it'll be 4th and 9 from there. And Georgetown's going to send on the punting unit. I am very surprised at this. Given how much time is left in the game, I don't know what punting the ball does for you right here. I am very surprised at this decision from Coach Bill Cronin to punt this ball away, assuming Josh Edwards does. Concordia up close, playing return all the way, and Edwards another bad kick. We'll wait on the spot. The official still walking up on the far side. He'll spot it at the 43-yard line. 25-yard punt for Josh Edwards.
At the Cardinal 43-yard line.
I am very surprised at that decision from the Georgetown coaching staff to punt that one away.
Hey fans, it's time to check your masks. Make sure they're covered your nose and mouth.
Concordia with some time looking to kill it off here. Handoff, and Georgetown trying to go for the strip right there at the 40-yard line.
Morrison's pass to number 11, Cavante Brown. On the tackle for Georgetown, number 19, Colin Smith.
Colin Smith in on the stop, no gain on the play. But the big thing for Concordia right now is the clock rolls. 7 minutes remaining here at Toyota Stadium. Other action from the playoffs. Kaiser has advanced by beating Arizona Christian 63-21. Grandview came storming back in the second half. They're about to advance as they lead Dort 38-10 late in the fourth. Morningside all over Carroll in the third quarter, 41-0. Morrison here will throw and has his man out in the near side. That is Kevontae Brown. The ball came out late. Wait and see who has it. I thought Ahmad Clay got it for Concordia. We'll wait and see on the official signal there. But I think Concordia is going to keep it. And they will, I believe.
Ball recovered by Concordia.
And it is indeed a recovery by Clay at the 49-yard line. And behind the play, a Georgetown player is down. Back, all the way back at the 32-yard line. Clock stop with 6:29 to go. Well, we've got a moment here, get some updates from other action. Lindsey Wilson is pulling away from Bethel out of Kansas. That game in the fourth quarter, Lindsey Wilson now leads 35-10. So the Blue Raiders on the verge of advancing to the second round of the playoffs. Northwestern and Dickinson State in a pretty tight one at halftime. Northwestern leading that one 17-7. Reinhardt about to put Marion away for the season. Reinhardt leads that one 33-15 late in the fourth. Best game of the day thus far, Baker and Olivet Nazarene at the end of the third. They are tied at 24. And so 16 teams will be reduced to 8 after today. That was DJ White down on the play for Georgetown. And he's up and able to walk it off. And we got his bell rung there as he walks off and to the far sideline. And he will be checked out by the training staff. And not sure if we'll see DJ White back in the game here today, with 6:29 to go. But 16 teams will be cut down to 8 next week, and the NAIA, within the next 48 hours, will announce the round of 8 matchups. You can follow that on NAIA.org. Out of the timeout, it is 3rd and 2, and the clock rolls. Brown to the right side of Morrison, and on the option pitch, Brown will have it. He'll have the first down and then some inside the 40, and he's shoved out of bounds at the 32-yard line. They'll move it up ahead now, give him the 31.
Number 19, Colin Smith.
First time we've seen the option play run where Morrison has pitched it, and it winds up being a significant gain on the play. In fact, a pickup of 21 on the play, by far the longest run of the day for the Cardinals. Concordia now with over 100 yards rushing here in the half after sitting at -5 at halftime. Play clock down to 5. Morrison hands off and is trying to stretch it out to the left side is James Carpenter. Carpenter recovered the block punt of Josh Edwards late in the second quarter that wound up leading to the third touchdown pass for Peter Morrison in the first half. Got a stoppage in play right here.
Officials timeout for an injured player.
Another Tiger shaken up on the play all the way across the far side. Five minutes and 21 seconds remaining here in Georgetown's season. So that got his Devon Starks a little shaken up on the play. Starks got pressed into a lot of extra action in the second quarter after Zion Bethel was pulled from the lineup after his early struggles in pass coverage. I'll wait till the end of the game for the final total, but at the end of the third quarter, Starks was credited with 12 tackles. Certainly a guy that will be in consideration for Georgetown's defensive MVP of the game. Try and give you both an offensive and defensive MVP for both sides before the conclusion of our broadcast here today. Clock now rolling once again, 5:15 and counting. And Concordia has more than willing to just let this one ride out. And given protocols up in the state of Michigan, it's not inconceivable that this Concordia team, who's ranked 5th in the country, may have to go on the road next week and face a lower-seeded team. They're doing it here against 12th seed Georgetown. They may not be able to play a home game again. Here's Carpenter again, just gets to the line of scrimmage, and
Number 22, James
for the moment also, Georgetown continues to sit on its 3 timeouts.
Tackles by number 52, Marcus.
It'll be third down and 10 on the play. And we'll see what Concordia does from this juncture. And Peter Morrison, quieter second half after a huge first half by his standards with those 3 touchdown passes. Concordia hustles to the line at 5, and they'll let it run all the way down, and they're going to call a timeout with 1 second on the play clock and 3:54 on the clock. So Concordia burns its first timeout here of the second half. Just a disappointing day for Georgetown. They just never seem to really have it from the get-go, but you also have to give credit to Concordia. They came out, and I think the game plan that they came out with early in the ballgame to pass the ball around the way they did really threw a curveball to Georgetown. I don't think the Tigers expected as much throwing of the football that Concordia had in that first half. Peter Morrison threw the ball 22 times in the first half. He had only averaged 20 pass attempts per game on the season. And today, by far, Morrison's best passing day of the season. His best previous to this was 148 in the season opener against Siena Heights. Today, Morrison's thrown for 221 and those 3 touchdowns. 3rd and 10 from the 31-yard line. And if you're the Tigers right now, you need a defensive touchdown really from here. Morrison stepping up. Sander Roxvag is going to get him and fall forward to the 30-yard line, so it'll technically count as a 1-yard rush for Morrison. It'll bring up 4th and 9 from the 30-yard line. And now Georgetown will spend its first timeout with 3 minutes and 41 seconds to go in the game.
Georgetown, their first of the half.
Curious to see what Concordia does from this point on the field. I would be surprised if they tried a field goal from this juncture. It would be about a 48-yard field goal from this point. And Gomez already had one blocked from 44 on this end. I don't think you want to risk a block and a potential return for touchdown. If I'm Concordia, I would consider keeping the offense on the field here and see if you can just pick up this first down. Even if you turn the ball over right here, Georgetown's still deep in its own territory, and the Tigers have not shown any kind of offensive consistency at all today. The Georgetown's defense is on the field. They expect Concordia to go ahead and try and convert this, and Concordia will keep the offense on the field. Now, Peter Morrison occasionally will punt. See if that comes to pass here in this situation. Morrison has punted a couple of times on the year, and he looks a little deeper here. In fact, no, he's going to hold here, and Luis Gomez is going to get a try here from, we'll call it 47 yards from the left hash. That ball might have been tipped at the line and is short. So no points on the board. But that doesn't really matter at this point. It still would have been a 3-score game. So Gomez now 0 for 2 on the day. And Georgetown will take over at its own 30-yard line, needing 21 points in the final 3 minutes and 35 seconds just to put this game into overtime. And now Bill Cronin sends Zach Dampier back into the game. We have not seen Dampier since midway through the first quarter. Dampier to the near side. There is TJ Wetstein with the catch, but not much doing on the play. Just a gain of 3. Dampier now 8 of 16 for 62 yards. Hunter Maynard made the stop there. He is in running for defensive MVP. He has double-digit tackles on the day. And again, Georgetown in no hurry. We approach 3 minutes to go in the ballgame. Wetstein in motion to the top side. Tamir Jones near side, and that is incomplete. Interference will be called against Gerald McHenry as Tamir Jones broke off the route. McHenry just reached out and grabbed Jones on the shoulder, so Georgetown's going to get a first down out of this. It'll be the 5th penalty of the day against the Cardinals. 5 for 47. So it'll move the ball to the 48-yard line. Jones again will line up with McHenry on the near side. Will Thomas all the way at the top, being checked by Mark Wilson, who's backing off in coverage. Aaron Maggard out there. They want the double pass, and it was never going to work as Andy Wade makes the play in the backfield. They wanted Will Thomas on the double pass we saw a few weeks ago here on Stretch. Wilson and Fish never bought it in the secondary, and Maggard never had a chance to get that throw off as Andy Wade just gobbled Aaron Maggard up in the backfield. It's a loss of 5. .220 to go. Dampier rolling out this side here, and a flag comes in the secondary. 2 flags come in. In fact, the line judge on the near side threw his flag and actually hit Connor Long in the side of the helmet. The field judge with a good arm there, but 2 flags in on the play. As it stands, the ball sits at the Concordia 43. Still waiting for the call to be had here. As the referee and back judge still discussing things here. Well, the officials talking to Coach Cronin, and it looks like this is going to be against Concordia.
Prior to the play, holding defense number 46, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic first down.
Hunter Maynard is called for defensive holding, so it'll be 10 yards from the previous spot. But most importantly here for Georgetown, it's an automatic first down. So the ball will be placed at the Concordia 47-yard line with 2 minutes and 9 seconds to go. Three receivers to the top side. Tamir Jones down low. Dampier wants Jones down the left side. That ball's underthrown and broken up again by Ryan Fish. Tamir Jones had a step on McHenry. Dampier has to put more mustard on that ball as he floated it up there and let Fish come in and make another nice play. Second time Ryan Fish has come in exactly and done that and possibly saved a touchdown. But at this point in the game, if you're Georgetown, you have to take those chances. If it gets picked off, so be it. Noah Kramer to the near side now. Delayed draw to Isaiah Cobb, and Isaiah Cobb out across the 40 to the 39-yard line. That's not enough for a first down, so because of that, Georgetown will have to use its second timeout before a 3rd down and 2 situation.
Timeout, Georgetown.
Tigers will be left with one more timeout remaining in the final 104 seconds of its season. Grandview has gone on and knocked off Dordt 38-10. Kaiser has beaten Arizona Christian by a final of 63-21. And Lindsey Wilson is about to knock off Bethel, Kansas right now. They lead 42-0 in the final minute of that one. Reinhardt leading in the second half against Marion, 40-22. And meanwhile, Baker and Olivet Nazarene continue to entertain there. They are tied at 31 in the second half. Northwestern's pulling away from Dickinson State, leading 30-7. Morningside all over Carroll, 48-0 in the fourth quarter. Morningside looking to win the national title for the 3rd year in a row. Back here, Dampier has a 3rd and 2. And that ball is caught by Nick Conley, and he is punished by Hunter Maynard right at the spot.
Tackle was by number 46, Hunter Maynard.
And they're going to say he is short of the line to gain, so it'll be 4th down and less than a yard here. And Georgetown in no hurry coming off the line, just trying to convert this to keep the drive alive. Dampier will sneak it himself. He'll have a first down across the 35 to the 33-yard line. And Georgetown will go ahead and use its final timeout with 1:06 remaining in the season.
Their 3rd and final timeout of the half.
Concordia was just too good on both sides of the field in the first half and throughout the game defensively. Georgetown's gotten up now to almost 220 yards of total offense. Still, though, that's 160 yards below its season average. You have to go all the way back to September of 2015 to find the last time Georgetown was shut out in a game. They lost to Faulkner 44-0 back on September 26, 2015. They'll look to avoid that here just to try to get something on the board. Dampier down the left sideline. Jones out there. Another underthrown ball, and it's incomplete. Now a late flag comes in from the line judge. Boy, if they call McHenry for interference here, I'm going to be shaking my head again. That flag came in way late on the play. Wow. They will call it on McHenry, and I'm very surprised at that. I thought McHenry had that played well, and the flag came in after the play had already been decided. As it stands, Georgetown move a little closer to trying to avoid the shutout. The ball gets moved to the 18-yard line. Dampier, line drive this time. Jones, did he get a foot down? Yes, he did. Georgetown does indeed avoid the shutout. Good job by Tamir Jones to bring that one in.
And for the point after try for Georgetown, number 49, Chris Klein.
Chris Klein to come on for the extra point here. 55 seconds remaining in the game. Onside kick will be coming after this extra point try for Klein, which is up and good. Dampier has his 11th touchdown of the season, second to Tamir Jones, and Georgetown finally does break through the scoring column. And now Georgetown will need its special teams to come up with a recovery here of an onside kick. It has not been a good day special teams-wise for the Tigers. All the problems we've seen and documented here today. But you're in a situation now for Georgetown. If you're Georgetown, out of timeouts, you're going to need Chris Klein to give you a good onside kick or a chance to recover it. You've got to go down and score, and then do another onside kick and score again. You've got to do all that within 55 seconds. So Klein will set it up from the near side hash as Concordia has its hands teams out. And see if Concordia gets a look at the way the Georgetown lines up and then uses a timeout here. As Klein will just lean the football up against the tee. Got to recover it. And it never even went 10 yards anyway before it was fallen upon by who else but Luke Wilson. Makes the play, and all Concordia has to do now is take a couple of knees. Concordia just simply the better team here today. Made plays through the air in the first half, something they had not done the entire season, albeit in only 5 games. And Georgetown could never recover, and defensively, Concordia was excellent from the get-go. As Morrison takes one knee, he'll have to do it one more time. And Concordia will move to 6-0 on the season, and they'll advance to the second round of the NAIA playoffs. Georgetown season will end here at 6-2. And one final kneel down there, and that is going to do it. The Concordia contingent that made the trek down from Ann Arbor, Michigan will have a happy ride home as their Cardinals come to Georgetown for the first time ever and put on a impressive performance as Concordia ends Georgetown's season here with a 21-0 22-7 win. Cardinals didn't score the second half, didn't need to, as well as their defense played throughout the game, as they hold Georgetown to just 239 yards offense. And, of course, as we saw, the Tigers had to score there in the final minute to avoid being shut out for the first time in 5 seasons. So Tigers now taking a knee, and Coach Cronin in the middle delivering his final post-game message of the season. And just a disappointing day for Georgetown all the way around. The Tigers could just never seem to get into the game. I think they were stunned early on by the passing attack by Concordia. And of course, the bad punt from Josh Edwards to start the game. Concordia takes advantage. Another Josh Edwards punt that was not a good one, so much so it was blocked later in the second half. Concordia took advantage of that one.
We'd now like to recognize today's NAIA FCS first-round games offensive and defensive players of the game. The offensive player of the game, from Concordia, number 41, Luke Wilson.
Luke Wilson named the Concordia offensive player of the game, and why not? 10 catches, 104 yards, and a touchdown.
Defensive player of the game, from Concordia, number 46, Hunter Maynard.
Hunter Maynard named defensive player of the game. He had double-digit tackles in the game.
And good luck to Concordia in round 2.
Concordia all set to head back home. Not before Coach Schumacher exchanges a quick fist bump with Coach Cronin. Josh Schumacher continues to impress here as the head coach at Concordia University. And the Cardinals will sing their fight song to the fans that came down cloaked in red and black. And that'll be a fun drive for those fans back up Interstate 75 to the Ann Arbor, Michigan area, as Concordia was impressive from the get-go. And as I said, there's nothing to it. They just flat out beat Georgetown. They were the better team here today by a good margin. Georgetown was never able to get going offensively. The Tigers throw for just 172 yards in this game. That is 140 yards below their average on the season. And anytime you can go on the road and hold a passing offense that far below its season average, you are going to put yourself in great position to win the football game. And that is exactly what Concordia did, knowing also that Georgetown has not been a good team running the football all year long. The Tigers wind up today 67 yards on the ground, just 2.7 yards per carry. But the first half was the story. Concordia's offense was throwing the ball all over the place, something that they did not do in the regular season, and I think really caught Georgetown by surprise in the first half. Multiple third and long conversions that eventually led to points for the Cardinals. Georgetown had no answer for Luke Wilson, especially in that first quarter, where he had 6 catches in that first quarter and a touchdown. But just not the Tigers' day, and sometimes you have that on the gridiron. Unfortunate that it comes here in the first round of the playoffs. And now Georgetown will look forward to the offseason, and the Tigers will have some work to do there to replace a number of guys they are potentially losing going into the fall. But nevertheless, season ends here today. Still a really nice season for the Tigers, 6-2 overall. The one regular season loss, of course, we had here on stretch to Lindsey Wilson, much closer than the final score indicated. But the Tigers' offense just not there today, and give credit to Concordia for that reason. And with that, we're going to go ahead and call it a day here at Toyota Stadium. For everybody at the Tiger Sports Network, my name is Jason Griever. Thank you so much for joining us all season long here on stretch. Your final score, Concordia 21, Georgetown 7. The Cardinals are off to the second round of the playoffs. Georgetown season ends with a 6-2 record. We've been happy to bring it to you all season long, live right here on stretch.